This week on the PressureCast, Valve sells mods, Marvel joins up with Telltale Games, and Mass Effect 4 gets leaked. Plus, impressions of Conker's Big Reunion and Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. Everything happening in the world of video games is here, now, on the PressureCast. Welcome to the 75th episode of the PressureCast, the weekly video game news panic that posts every single Monday on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, TuneIn Radio, and the longest-running independent newspaper at ExpressMonkey.com, and powered by VideoGamesAreDumb.com. Hello, how are you? My name is Colin Tanner. And I'm your host as always, and I'm so glad to see you here with your earphones in or not, depending on how you're listening to this. And I am joined by Steve Cup. Steve!
Hey, how's it going?
Oh my god, so good. So good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, man. Hanging in there.
We have a lot of video game news to get to this week, so I don't want to waste any time. But, did you see the Joker this week?
Oh, I saw the Joker, the Juggalo Joker.
Is that Jared Leto? Is that his name?
Yeah.
What is he from? I don't know him.
Marilyn Manson, ICP, one of those groups.
Okay. In case you don't know what we're talking about, they just showed. I'm sorry. I know we should be getting to video games, but I wanted to talk to you about that before the show started. Holy crap! They revealed the new Joker for the Suicide Squad movie. Mm-hmm. Which I assume, is that connected to the DC animated, or the DC animated universe? I guess it should be.
Yeah, I don't know. He just, he looks like the long-lost member of Linkin Park.
Because he has, like, skulls and dollar signs tattooed, and he has, like, a grill?
Yeah, it's very, like, 1999 nu metal, not very Joker-esque. And it could just be it could be the whole, like, shirtless single photo thing. I think it was just a bad leak. I'm sure it'll look fine eventually, but if you're trying to like drum up interest for your movie, that's probably not a good idea to show that image.
No, it's horrifying. It's horrifying. And I actually liked Man of Steel. I'm the guy. I'm the one thumbs up at Rotten Tomatoes. I loved it. Okay, don't tell me you didn't love a movie which involved, think about this. You're in a big metropolitan city, and the Earthlings get into an airplane to crash into a tower in the middle of downtown to save the world. If you do not fucking see the symbolism in there, I was watching it, I'm like, there's no fucking way this is happening. Like, literally, the Earthlings are like, we gotta crash a plane right into the tower. Like, they said the tower! They said that! I was like, no fucking way. Superman causing 9/11. Seriously.
That's sad.
Okay, so Jared Leto, not a fan.
No, not a fan at all. It was I didn't believe it was real. I thought it was like actually like somebody's joke Photoshop thing when I was scrolling through my Twitter feed.
Did you see that? Someone took the Arkham City Game of the Year edition and put it as his tattoo, so it says 5 out of 5 on his chest and like Game of the Year. It's really good. Okay, I guess much like Superman, let's get to the earth-shattering stories. Because the Earth will never survive what we've got to talk about this week. Now, you seem a bit perplexed, Steve, when I try and tell you that, yes, you can now buy mods on Steam for Skyrim.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand.
Okay, let's say that you
Explain to me.
Let's say you are a humble mod maker in your wooden shack, whittling away at some new maps, items, or mods. Well, now you can actually charge for them on Steam just for Skyrim. Okay? I mean, unless you count like the older games, like what is it? Dota 2 or Team Fortress 2.
Sure.
Those were always available. This is the very first third-party game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can charge whatever price you want. You can change the price after you release the mod. Lots of opportunities here for you. But, of course, Steam user base immediately threw their hands up in the air and went, fucking nope! Like, people were very, very very angry. Valve's Tom Bew, though, he was trying to put a positive light on this. He said, user-generated content is an increasingly significant component of many games, and opening new avenues to help financially support those contributors via Steam Workshop will help drive the level of UGC to new heights.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, there's a few things going on here. First of all, if you're a big baby crying foul, I think you need to consider that the company that you love, Valve, I would say more than half of their games are just mods of games they've already made.
What are you talking about? Dota 2 is totally original.
Yeah, well, we have Dota 2, we have Counter-Strike, we have Team Fortress 2. How many of their games are just mods of Half-Life, basically? I mean, Portal.
How did you not know about this story until like 20 minutes ago, and already you have a rather insightful comment? That's insane. That's really true.
So that's kind of silly to me. On top of that, you have to consider that these are just mods that happen to be sold on Steam. There's other places where people create free user-generated content that you can add to your game. Also, I think that if you're an artist and you create awesome work and you want to be paid for that awesome work, that's fine. There are people who have created like gigantic campaigns for Skyrim, Morrowind, things like that. And if they want to sell them for money, that's cool. At the same time, I think the issue comes in some of the same issues that Steam has right now with, Greenlight or things like that, where there's no quality control. So, maybe I create this mod and I say, oh, it's going to do this thing, and this thing, and I charge $10 for it and it doesn't do shit. So now the community kind of has to work a little bit harder to parse out what's useful and what's not. So it is a bit more of a burden on the community, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's the end of the world.
Well, neither does Bethesda. They actually wrote in a comment saying, modding has been important to all our games for such a long time. We try to create worlds that come alive and you can make your own. But it's in modding where it truly does. Thanks again for your incredible support over the years. We hope steps like this breathe new life into Skyrim for everyone. They also did mention that there are over 24,000 free Skyrim mods. Mm-hmm. Now, other people are offended by this, and I do mean offended. Like, literally, they take offense to this idea that mods should be something that you can charge for. They don't like that concept. Even people like Notch have come out against this. He said something to the effect of, remember how upset everyone was when I said they couldn't charge for mods? That's why that was one of the reasons I actually left my company, So if Notch is saying that. But the issue for a lot of these people is that it's creating a precedent that from now on mods are going to be charged, or that this is Valve's way of just making more money, which, to be fair, guys, Valve is always going to be the bad guy. You just don't know it yet. They were the bad guy the day they turned on the lights. Because if you follow your bizarre logic of, if you're just doing it for the money, man.
Yeah, I mean, Valve controls the system. They are the system of commerce, basically, for online games. So, yeah, if you want to point to a bad guy, the system's already there, if that's who you want to yell at for making money.
Can you imagine if that attitude was brought to any other job outside of creative? Like, some garbage man's picking up the trash. Hey, you don't really care about picking up trash. You're just doing it for the money, man.
Yeah, and I don't know if it sets a precedent, but I think I understand some of the fears and anxieties, just because when mods were first becoming popular, it was sort of seen as like, an illegal thing, and they weren't always supported by creators. And eventually in the 90s, the PC community and companies kind of came together and realized, hey, mods they're good for us. They raise the profile of the game. That's why a game like Skyrim is continuing to be so popular, is because of mods. But yeah, at the end of the day, if someone wants to charge for something, I think they can. If you're creating something, you shouldn't be beholden to some community to just give it away for free if you want to. That's silly.
And it does in some ways actually make mods more legitimate. Now that, the way that works out is that the modders only get 25% of the take. Mm-hmm. That was actually set up by Bethesda.
Yeah.
Which does make, and some people are very offended by that, saying Bethesda's taking too much of the cut from here. However, if you think about it, what percentage of work are you, the modder, putting into it? Let's say you actually do that whole thing that they're doing where, we're going to recreate Morrowind in Skyrim. Still, you're not doing 25% of the work. You know what I mean? They had to create the city in the first place. However, there was a modder that actually, he put up one of the early mods, one of the early paid mods, called Art of the Catch, which was all about catching fish.
Okay.
His name is Chesco. And his partner, who helped him work on this, was actually not okay with him charging for the mod. He was one of the people that says, no way, take that shit down. He was like, all right, sorry, man. So Cheska said, after a discussion with 4, that's the name of the other person, I made the decision to pull Art of the Catch down myself. It was not removed by a staff member. 4 and I have talked since, and we are okay. But then there were some problems for him because even though everyone's getting refunds, if you already bought it, let's say you give them however much money it was, and they go, oh, we're taking it away, so here's your money back. Well, even if you got your money back, you can now keep playing Art of the Catch because you already purchased it. Here's what he had to say. I was just contacted by Valve's lawyer. He stated that they will not remove the content unless legally compelled to do so, and that they will make the file visible only to currently paid users. I am beside myself with anger right now as they try to tell me what I can do with my own content. Well, to be fair, that is the standard for anything and anywhere of any digital distribution model, whether that be Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, Steam, Origin, GameFly.
Yeah, once you own and download something, they can't just delete it from your hard drive. It doesn't work like that.
Absolutely. It is worth noting that there are, I think, in the range of 40,000 signatures at change.org to remove the paid mods from Steam Workshop.
I don't get it. I mean,
What is
I understand it's because of like kind of the mindset of the mod community and the people who use mods where it's sort of this like punk rock art type of thing.
Actually, punks and mods don't get along. So that's
but like
kids, either you get that joke or you don't.
let's think about
on your
this.
best foot.
Let's like isolate the idea. Basically, what you're saying is you're encouraging unpaid fan labor, which directly contributes to the pocketbooks of a large publisher and a larger system of digital distribution without paying the actual artist. If it was me, and I'm not a mod creator, that's not my thing, I would probably just, kind of go down the middle on this, and I would set up a pay-what-you-want model and just sell it through my own website instead of using Steam.
Yes. So basically, the in rainbows of mods is what you would do.
That's what I would do. Pay what you want. I mean, I think that's fair. And a lot of guys that do like remix albums, things like that. So like Girl Talk.
Sure.
Yeah. Pay what you want model. I think that's fair. I mean, if you want to give somebody money for creating great art, you should. If somebody's got a Patreon or something, give them money. But
is it Patreon or Patreon?
I don't know.
Okay.
You're a patron of the arts, or it'd be a Patreon, or you're a patron of the arts. I don't know.
But you're keeping the Patreon. Patreon.
Patreon. I've heard it said both ways. I don't know. If
Okay.
It's a potato, maybe.
Well, it's kind of like it's Pat in a way.
Yeah.
Is that a boy? Is that a girl? No one can be sure.
It's just Pat.
Yeah, even when Pat went to get a haircut.
Or maybe it's just Pate in this case.
Okay. Okay, moving on. Gabe Newell actually responded to the controversy by saying, our goal is to make modding better for the authors and gamers. If something doesn't help with that, it will get dumped. Right now, I'm more optimistic that we will win for authors and gamers, but we are always going to be data-driven. Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to increase the total investment the community makes in extending its games. We thought we were missing some plumbing that was hampering that.
Plumbing?
We thought we were missing some plumbing that was hampering that.
Was the valve toilet clogged? Oh, because valve and plumbing, and that's a funny joke.
So here's the thing about the 25%. The payouts are set by the owner of the game that is being modded. As I said elsewhere, if we are censoring, it's dumb, ineffective, and will stop. So here's my one question, though. Let's say that you, I don't know, Hotline Miami is like, hey, we want to have some paid mods, but we're not going to charge anything for it. 100% goes to the creators. Is that possible, or will it be in that almost like that Microsoft scenario when people were not able to give away games on Xbox Live because they had to charge at least a minimum price of 99 cents.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll find out more about that soon. But the controversy, and I'm right there with you. I think if you're spending your time modding something, if you're spending your time creating something, and you want to charge people for that, if it's within your legal right, which modding certainly is, or at least there's a precedent for that, where people said, hey, that's okay. I mean, I remember, Quake 3 was the very first game that had so many wonderful mods. And if they were charging for mods back then, I don't think we'd be anywhere near the size of the community that we are now. However, the modding community is healthy. It is robust, and there will always be free mods. So if someone says, hey, I rebuilt 5 games in this one engine, can I get $3 and they're only going to get 75 cents of that? Is that math checkout? I don't know. Okay,
Close
good. Why not? It's up to that personal user. That's the thing that keeps boggling me, is that they keep saying, screw you, Valve, screw you, big companies, but they're really kicking the little guy because the little guy wants to charge for it. And unless the little guy doesn't, if the little guy's saying, hey, 25% is enough for me, well, then we have our very first issue. But it makes me sad. You want to talk about more defensive strategies right now?
Sure.
Star Wars Battlefront was revealed last week. We talked about it on the show. Holy shit, what a week it has been for them, because everybody that's involved with this game has to come out and be like, actually, we promise it won't suck. I heard it will suck. That report was incorrect. But this report says that your report is incorrect. I'm sorry, what? That's basically been the entire week.
Yeah. I watched the gameplay footage trailer or whatever, and it looks nice.
In-game engine.
Yeah, in-game engine, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't buy that shit. I mean, that's typical. It's video game industry stuff, and I've been.
Hey man, when Killzone 2 comes out, it's gonna look like that. It's gonna show those Xbots who's boss.
Yeah, you want to talk about precedents? There's a precedent in the video game industry for trailers, in-game footage, or pre-rendered or otherwise that don't reflect well in the content, and especially after things, like the Alien Colonial Marines debacle a few years ago. Watch Dogs. Again, like there's a precedent. This happens every few months.
Precedent is the word of the show.
It is. This
is dangerous.
It's the precedent.
We're setting a dangerous precedent.
Yeah.
Precedent cast.
Yeah.
We're gonna be talking about James K. Polk. Polk.
Imagine if every time you saw a movie trailer, if nothing you saw in the trailer was actually in the film.
Like that Ron Williams movie, Toys. He was never standing in the field talking to me.
But yeah,
do people remember that 25-year-old movie?
But I mean, the point is, because the video game industry does this, I have no reason to believe that the cool footage that you showed me in this pre-rendered video is in any way, shape, or form an indication of the quality of the product that you're going to put out.
Well, I'll tell you what. Reddit really knew how to deal with this, because they created lists where they showed what were the features in the original game to what are the features in this one.
Oh, God. And they're going to talk about, you can't play as 60 people, you can't play as 40.
Dude, there were checks on some sites and X's on others, but there were way more checks on the old game. It's almost like they built the list to promote the old game.
Oh.
You know what you can do right now?
What can you do?
Play the fucking old game. Can I just say this really quick before we get to the story? Battlefront, and I was trying to be civil last week, but the more I hear these people praise this game, I was at GameStop, and there's a very nice guy behind the counter that I chit-chat with every now and again, and he was like, man, I'm super pumped for that. I loved that game when I was a kid. And I was like, yeah, because you were dumb. I told him that. I said, I love dumb shit, too. Like, I thought WWF Warzone was not a bad Nintendo 64 game. That game is utter dog shit, because it was fan service. But seriously, Battlefront never had a good frame rate. The only reason anyone even fondly remembers it is because it came to PC and it got patch after patch after patch. It took like 3 years to get that game anywhere near where you see it now. Mm-hmm. It was never that good. Especially when you had to play against those fucking robots in the prequel stages that had those big shields. They were so cheap.
Can you still get the PC game? Like, is it on Origin or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, it's on Steam because it's simply owned by LucasArts. See, yeah. Okay. Moving on to the Battlefront news. Here's what we've got. They will have destructible environments. Got a bunch of quotes here. I'm not sure who they're from. Almost everybody was talking. That is from Electronic Arts. That is from DICE. That is from other places. Here's what they said about destruction. We're using destruction where it makes sense, but also working to create something that is authentic to the universe. Okay? They talked about their power-ups. Yes, the shield is a Battlefront power-up, and we'll have many more to reveal in the future. They talked about the space battles. You will be able to take to the skies over our planets and dogfights with squadrons of starfighters. Of course, they said there would be no space battles like there were in the previous game where you fly. Well, not the leaked footage of Battlefront 3 where you could fly up in outer space and then go back down to the planet. Mm-hmm. Here's what they had to say about the playable heroes. You will play more than you hold on right here. They've only revealed Vader and Boba Fett, but more will come. And they said that many of the sizes are going to vary in size from large to small and will cater to different experiences and different modes. A lot of this information came from the DICE general manager, Patrick Bach, Here's what he actually had to say about the difference between Battlefield and Battlefront. He said, Star Wars is an intellectual property, is shaping what we're doing. So, we won't do excessive destruction just because we can. It's more about what do you need and what do you want in a Battlefield game versus a Battlefront game. So we're using destruction where it makes sense, but we're also working to create something that is authentic to the universe. A lot of people were just, I don't actually remember hardly any destruction in the original Battlefront series.
No, there wasn't. I can't think of much either.
It was
Maybe a few
incredibly
buildings
static.
here and there. Yeah, I don't
No.
know. Although I guess it wasn't as prominent back then either.
No.
Pre Red Faction.
Yeah, well, that was post Red Faction, because Red Faction, come on, brain, was that
2002, 2003? I remember I played it. I played the first one in high school.
I want to say 2001.
Okay.
I'd say October 2001.
That is a very specific time.
I want to guess that
that would make it a very early PS2 title too.
It was because Part 2 came out in 2003 because it was a 2-year turnaround, which Part 2 is horrible.
Yeah.
Woo!
I just
I beat that game. I don't even know how I did it.
I just like the first one because I remember like endlessly digging into walls and just waiting for something to stop me. It was just like,
are we showing our hand about how excited we are for Battlefront? We're like, oh man, remember that game from 13 years ago?
Yeah.
14 years ago?
you just dig into walls. I don't know. I mean, again, none of this means anything, but the thing that drives me nuts is they say all these things that mean nothing. They're just being very vague about everything to kind of drum up excitement, but with the very cynical tagline at the end, pre-order now!
Yeah, it's true. Well, Jesper Nielsen, he's the assistant producer at Vice, or at Dice's support studio Uprise at Vice.
Yeah, Vice.
He's going to North Korea to punk Kim Jong-un again. Here's what he had to say about the comparisons, once again, to Battlefield and Battlefront. I'm telling you, this whole week, it was so defensive. They had Reddit posts. They had Twitter posts. Well, here's what he had to say on Reddit. If you think there's anything we're not including in the game to save it for DLC, I can tell you you're 100% wrong. In this project, I've never heard anyone say, let's not do this for launch so we can do it as DLC instead, ever. But here's the part that's kind of screwed up. He later went on to say, I have heard people say, let's not do this for... No, I'm fucking with you. That would be pretty amazing. He talks about how, like, oh yeah, remember those maps that we're not including in the game, but it will come as DLC? That DLC is free! So, I mean, I feel bad for DICE because, honestly, they work so hard. I mean, the Battlefront games, if you want to blame somebody, yeah, blame EA. You know, I don't like to make EA the bad guy, but yeah, they're just like, hurry up, the game's coming out, whether you like it or not.
It's just, I mean, regardless of the quality of the original Battlefront, I think people are just worried because it's an IP that they have like a lot of nostalgia for or whatever, and now it's being handled by two companies, DICE, who has a history of pushing out kind of glitchy games before they're ready to launch, and EA, who has a history of being scummy assholes who love to, inundate games with microtransactions. So
I'm a little worried too, because if this comes out and it's not good, this will be the very first bad thing associated with Star Wars. So moving on,
first ever.
I mean, because
I
mean, Christ, like Star Wars has been a trash can fire for the past 25 years.
Midichlorian DLC confirmed.
And I mean, 25 years. I mean, literally, think about that. So that puts it around 1990 when just like we've already had the Christmas special. You know, we've already had the edits to the original movies. Yes, I know it wasn't special edition, but there were already edits in place for the re-releases on VHS tapes that were going to be coming out. Just everything about there were already novels that were garbage. Whatever. Who cares?
Oh my God,
there were already bad games.
Somebody's getting some hate in the comments.
But there were already bad games.
Yeah,
there was
funny.
what
about Masters of Terra Kasi, the Star Wars fighting game?
They mean the one where you could literally bash someone over the head with a lightsaber like it was a fucking steel baton?
Yep.
That game actually had some pretty cool names in it, though. Like, I like the character design. the game is awful. It is one of the worst fighting games ever. It has no idea what it's trying to be at all.
What about that Star Wars Kinect game? Come on, you could do like Just Dance with Han Solo. That's fun.
That might be the best part of the game, though. That's kind of like at least it's like, well, let's just have fun. Because, like, for the fuck's sake, if you saw any of the prequels, they were not fun. Say whatever you want about those movies, they were never fun. Self-serious tripe, you know? Ugh. Well, at least we know we'll have fun. I don't have a segue here. For the next earth-shattering story, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, which once again, we already talked about this. However, a number of leaked details have been released, including that it will launch on November 6th. And that there is no listing for last-gen consoles.
Oh, no.
Or the Wii U.
Oh, well, that's kind of, par for the course.
Now, these were from promotional materials that were leaked to NeoGAF. They also said if you pre-order this game, you will also get the beta for Black Ops 3. You might be saying, who cares? But hold up, playa, we're turning it into a 6-man tag. I mean, hold up, playa. They have not had a beta. They have not had a beta since World at War. That was 2009. That was a different time. Obama was in office. Marvel movies were hitting the screen. Very different time. I don't know. They also said that they're going to have a co-op campaign. There's going to be a zombies mode, of course, Treyarch.
That's kind of their thing.
And that they're going to have a new movement-based chain movement system. Momentum-based chain movement system. Fluid move through the environment with finesse using controlled thrust, jumps, slides, and mantling abilities in a multitude of combinations.
Sounds like quick time events to build a rhythm combo.
Sounds like they're just evolving the Advanced Warfare engine from last year, which was quite good. I know, seriously, if you sat down and played Advanced Warfare, you would have a good time. I promise. It's a really fun game. I mean, at the end of the day, this is online paintball. I have fun with
That's Splatoon.
Splatoon. That's a good point. I have fun with these games, but my worry is the reason why the Call of Duty has been successful, in my opinion, is that you'll always have the A team and the B team. The A team, of course, is awesome, and you got Mr. T and
Base.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't commit no crimes, but they do a lot of crimes in the show. But it's always for a good cause. They always get free.
Yeah, that's what matters.
And then you've got, the B team. But the thing is that they have now the A, B, and C team. The D team. No one knows what happened to the C team. It went right to D team. And now I'm a little worried when they're starting to sound like they're recycling the engines. So already we have more teams who say, more diversity, because you'll get this different feel for every single year. But when they're saying like, we got this chain momentum system, it's like, wait a minute. That was in the last game. So if you're borrowing from that title, that's actually going to blur the lines, because back in the day, Infinity Ward and Treyarch hated each other. They would not share the same technology. It's like, you do that, well, we do slides. Oh, you do that, well, we do this different type of wall jumping. They would not agree on the core components. What say you? Do you even play Call of Duty?
No, I don't really have a dog in the race here. I mean, I have Call of Duty Black Ops 2 on the Wii U. Because when Wii U first came out, a friend of ours, he was playing Call of Duty on Wii U for some reason, probably because it's easier to not suck because everybody on there sucks. And he didn't have anyone he knew to play with, so he literally bought me and my girlfriend a copy so we could play with him online.
Oh, no!
Which, I mean, it was cool because, one of us could play on the screen and the other one could play on the TV, and it was whatever, but...
I thought that one was okay. It wasn't great.
I like the level where you're on, the yacht or whatever. That was fun.
That was an awesome one.
And then I played the newest one for a little bit for a project for school, and it was just whatever. I just sucked. That was about it.
That one has more of a learning curve, but it is really good. Once you figure out that you can jump from wall to wall, you can do this hover ability, you can actually cloak yourself. And it looks like this one's going to continue the sci-fi direction, which worries me a little bit, because I feel like you could have one sci-fi Call of Duty series, and then you've got to stop. And then bring it back to 1960s. I love the original Black Ops. You can play as Robert McNamara and fight against zombies. That is literally why I bought that game. No joke. I was a big fan of Fog of War. Not even kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any problems with Call of Duty. It's just a multiplayer game. I'm confused though why they continue to pump money into the campaign. Why do you pay all this money so you can have a perfectly rendered Kevin Spacey face when clearly that's not the focus of the series? If you want to make a multiplayer focused series, why not just cut your costs and give me the $39.95 version of Call of Duty every year where it's just a multiplayer pack?
I've heard that from a lot of people, but I'll tell you what, if they do that, then they might ruin themselves for having single player, because they sell it separately. And B, from what I understand, more people complete the Call of Duty single players than most other games. In the terms of completed single players, they are really high up there.
That's interesting.
Isn't it?
Well, even though short campaigns too.
For years, I never beat Call of Duty 4's single player. me personally, I was like, fuck that, I'm playing online. You know, I never played World of War single player. I never played, I played Black Ops, but God, that game was good. So good. But, you know.
I don't know. I mean, if I was an evil mastermind CEO at Activision, I'd almost try to adopt like an MMO-style subscription.
Yeah.
So pay $5.95 a month and then play Call of Duty ad nauseum, and then we'll update it once a year.
I don't know if that service still exists, but they did have that one service that just gave you huge discounts on multiplayer maps. Maybe I think they got rid of that.
Oh, yeah, like Special Forces, Call of Duty Super Bros, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that actually is the name on there. The COD SB.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not into online multiplayer shooters. It's never been my thing. I'm bad at
noob.
it. Yeah.
Aren't you excited for Splatoon?
Yeah, actually
Get
I am.
Out.
I am excited for Splatoon. You know why? Because you can't talk to people, which is my least favorite part of any multiplayer game.
That's true.
And it's specifically like going to be tiered in a way where it's inviting for new players, which is good.
I am very excited for it. I can't wait.
People don't consider that. Like with all these ongoing series like Call of Duty or Halo or whatever, even if you get a game on day one and just play it for 8 hours a week or whatever, there's people who have been playing this game for like a decade.
Yeah.
And you don't have that knowledge base to compete with them.
Oh
it just
my God.
Sucks.
I love Grand Theft Auto 5, play my racing mode, get in first place. How you guys doing? You having fun for the first week? I've been playing this for 2 years.
Eat my dust, baby!
Oh, it's very, very fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the last earth-shattering story of the week. This is Marvel announcing a partnership with Telltale Games to release some games, plural, in 2017. We know absolutely nothing about this. However, Telltale, it just seems there is a bit of almost irony to this of them working with the independent comic that was kind of sort of popular, had a little TV show that was coming up in the case of The Walking Dead, and then it blew up. You know, Robert Kirkland, this little independent artist. And now The Walking Dead, of course, is much bigger than it was when it was just a comic book. Yeah. And Telltale is much bigger than they were when they were just re-releasing Sam & Max and Jurassic. They would go, it's so funny. They'd release Jurassic Park, the game, and Back to the Future, and no one cared. And those were big, big, big all-time properties. And then when they went for the smaller stuff like Fables, you know, The Walking Dead, and now Disney and Marvel are saying, we want you to make games.
Well, I think they've gotten really a lot better at their games. I mean, things like Sam & Max and Back to the Future are a lot more indebted to like classic point-and-click adventure games, I think. Jurassic Park is not good, but it's interesting looking back on it now if you go and play it today after playing newer games by them, because you can kind of see the transition that they're struggling to grow up. It's their awkward teenage phase, basically. But yeah, I mean, this makes perfect sense. They've done great things with The Walking Dead. I hate The Walking Dead TV show, but I like the games. I think Wolf Among Us is really cool, and they adapted Fables incredibly well. The only thing that I'm a little disappointed in is I think it's really cool that they work with all these established properties to make amazing games that are story-driven, but at the same time, I would love to see an original story not based on an existing intellectual property.
Yeah, it's true, and I agree with you on that. However, and I thought much the same for a long time, but to find anyone that is able to tunnel the spirit of a pre-established work into a video game is such a rarity, and they seem to do it right every single time. I mean, even something like Borderlands, which already was a video game, but like I said, I was never a fan of the story. Holy crap, Tales from the Borderlands is incredible. Yep. It's absolutely incredible, and it has this wonderful story. Like they breathe new life into these concepts. And I haven't played Fables yet, but I hope to check that out sooner or later. But you know, The Walking Dead, although not nearly as good as other people had remarked on it, I was almost kind of baffled at the popularity that it had. Especially, I think it was just for people that didn't play very many independent games. I was still very touched by certain moments and the character development. To see them be able to take authentic emotion and keep it in a video game, it's just so exciting. And I can understand why someone like Disney, who, despite all their blockbuster explosions, yahoos, they are able to put more humor and emotion into their superhero films than anybody else, except for Man of Steel, which was a laugh riot. Remember that part where she's like, "What's with the S?" And no, that was the only joke in that movie. Okay, moving on. I mean, I'm very excited for Telltale because they are being rewarded for good work. I think once you're associated with Marvel and Disney, sky's the limit. That's the biggest entertainment company in the world.
Well, and I think we can both. There's potential in the future for us both to be happy because Telltale's a company that they start off very small. They probably had like 20 people when they started off, and they've grown and grown and grown and grown.
Yeah.
If they continue to grow and they continue to be successful with these major intellectual properties, maybe they'll get to a point where they can do kind of like what Ubisoft's doing right now, where they have their big games, their tentpole games, and then they can also make smaller games. So, maybe we'll get a story-driven original Telltale game, but just as like a smaller title, and I'd be okay with that too. I just like to see what they're doing, and I'm glad they're doing so well.
Let's connect it back to franchises and licenses. What would you like to see Telltale do? If you could pick any license, what would it be for them to cover?
What would they cover?
I'm just gonna put mine out there right now, even because I played the Tales from the Borderlands. It would be either Trigun or Cowboy Bebop. I'd love to see what they would do with Japanese anime, because the episodic content is very reliant on the whole idea of just cliffhangers, which is basically anime. Maybe even Dragon Ball Z. I don't give a fuck. Whatever. Just do anime.
I'd like to see him adapt John Carpenter's The Thing.
I was hoping you were going to say John Carpenter's Vampires.
John Carpenter's Vampires with James Woods, because he's awesome. No.
Did you ever play The Thing video game on PS2?
Yeah, I remember like changing a lot of fuses or something.
That's accurate.
Okay, that's all I remember from that game. Is like,
that's a good call.
Changing fuses.
The Thing. Wow.
Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. And just the soundtrack alone would be awesome. Actually, what I really like to see them do is I'd like them to create an original horror-driven IP of their own with original music from John Carpenter, because I think that'd be amazing.
What about They Live?
They Live would be fun.
That'd be so good.
Yeah. Although I think The Thing, more so than any other John Carpenter movie, other than like smaller ones like Prince of Darkness or something like that, really lends itself to the episodic kind of story-driven stuff.
Seriously, though, I would just love to hang around that homeless shelter, which is just a homeless village that still has a lot of electricity going somehow.
Yeah. It'd be great if if they did They Live, and there was an entire episode, like episode 3 is just a fight scene.
God,
They Live is a 30-minute fight scene.
That movie is really good. It's not great. It's amazing. It's hard to explain. But that's gonna do it for the earth-shattering stories of the week. The earth is in pieces.
The earth is shattered.
It's just come to Puddle of Mud this Saturday. Must be accompanied by an adult if under the age of 18. Man, I don't know.
Is anybody going to see Puddle of Mud these days?
I don't know. Is that what? Do they call him POM or does they have
That's POD. That's a different one. There's also Mud Vein, which is more in the vein of your grumbly voice there.
Okay.
Hey, if you're looking for a segue for this next segment, you should talk to Paul Blart, Mall Cop.
Paul Blart. I gotta ask you though. We're talking about movies. No, I gotta ask you.
It's a good segue, Joe. Come on.
I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
Did you watch that new Jurassic World trailer?
Are you talking about like the footage that leaked of like Chris Pratt being like, "I'm a manly man," and the woman being like, "I'm a lady"?
That sounds pretty good, but no. I'm talking about the trailer where they actually explain what the fuck is up with the Raptors.
Oh, and how he's like friends with the Raptors?
Yeah.
No, I just every time I see something new from Jurassic World, I get more cynical about it, so I'm cutting myself off.
I did not like the original Jurassic Park. Just saying it. I always kind of thought the movie was just a bit...
Oh, God. I think I just had a stroke. What?
No, it's really... You think there's a lot more going on in that movie than there is. Yeah, dinosaurs. We get it. No, I'm fucking around. The movie has a really interesting first act, but the rest of it kind of is boring.
Doesn't work for you?
Not really. No, that first act where they're explaining how the park works, it's like, damn, I can watch...
Are you sure you didn't accidentally watch Jurassic Park 3?
No, I watched the original Star Trek movie. Oh, my God. No, yeah, Jurassic Park 3. Holy shit, I saw that.
William H. Macy.
No, but I'm being real with you. I said I didn't like the original Jurassic Park. I actually thought Lost World was pretty fun. Like, it was just a stupid fun movie. Jurassic Park 3 was awful. I didn't like that first trailer. This new trailer is really good.
Is it?
It's really good.
All right, am I really going to get sucked in? Am I going to watch this thing and not hate myself?
Yeah, I without spoiling what's going... I mean, if you really don't want to know, this is the trailer, guys, I'm talking about. It basically, he's kind of like one of those lion keepers in Las Vegas. That's all. He's just basically training the raptors, and it's like, well, yeah, the raptors are really smart. You could train them if you had them since birth.
Conceivably, yeah.
So that's why they're riding along his motorcycle, because he trained them, you know?
Fair enough.
I don't know. I don't know. You don't actually want to see this movie, do you?
I mean, I'm going to, and I'm sure it won't be horrible, but it's just like, I just feel like my anticipation isn't lining up with the information I'm being fed, and it's just not good. It's coloring my experience.
I know. Good posters, though.
Yeah.
Really good posters.
Good posters.
Yeah. That's all I want in a movie, good posters.
That's all you need.
Oh, so we got this new segment that I'm going to bring up. It is time, and I don't have really a name for it. So right now, it's going to be the Idiot of the Week. Every week, I always skip these stories. So I'm like, well, they're not news. But then I'm just like, God damn, these are so stupid. So I'm not going to try and, if we don't have an Idiot of the Week, I'm not going to make one up. I don't want to create a witch hunt where there is none.
It's you, Steve.
Yeah. You're the dumbest. No, here's what I got. There's the very first entry into Idiot of the Week. It is Pastor Creflo Dollar.
Creflo Dollar? What the fuck is that?
It just sounds like an alternative comic.
Is that a new Mass Effect character?
Yeah. This guy, he is a televangelist. He is from Georgia, from the non-denominational World Changers Church International. So Georgia has the World Changers Church International. That's good. You probably get more soul food at fucking Church's Chicken, personally. Like, this guy sounds like he's an absolute moron. He has a lot to say about Pokemon. Here's what he had to say about it. Many clues are noticeable in the cartoon, starting with the relationship between Ash, the hero, and Brock, his companion, whose platonic love relationship is clear. Pokemon names in all languages aims to guide young people towards the choice of homosexuality.
Well, this is an interesting textual analysis.
The choice of homosexuality.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Well, they go choose to eat a dick, Pastor. Here's what he said. This is where it gets really good. So already it's kind of like, well, that's just offensive. But here's where it gets funny. This is the case of Bulbasaur. Female breast representation attached to odd word to cast doubt of the natural attraction of man to the form of the female body.
Wouldn't Bulbasaur be more like vaginal with the flower that grows from his back?
Interesting choice there.
He's like a blossoming woman as he evolves. I don't think he really went in depth enough with this.
Many Pokemon have a phallic appearance to push teenagers to enjoy this type of shape. Have you seen? I'm sick of that show on PBS with the circles. Children shouldn't be into circles. Squares are more efficient.
Are there really that many phallic Pokemon?
Are there really that? Are there?
Okay, what's the most phallic? If a Pokemon was going to, incite this like insatiable cocklust inside of me.
Yeah.
I guess what's okay? It's the second form of the little mole character. Is it Doug Trio?
Yeah.
Which is just like 3 phalluses. So I guess that would be the most phallic Pokemon?
I guess so.
It's like a triple dick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Wow. Just thinking about it now, I think I'm becoming a homosexual. The choice, as the great Reverend said. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Jesus.
I'm not really sure. He seems like a complete nut job.
Unbelievable.
So, here's my favorite part, though. The Pokemon named Charmander never stops caressing his tail in all his appearances.
And notice that it's Charmander, not Charwomander.
The 151st Pokemon Mew is the representation of the alleged third sex.
Oh. I thought wasn't Mew? Isn't Mew like a glitch?
No, Mew was officially in the Japanese release of Pokemon, but was removed in the American version, though if you used a Game Genie by Galoob, you could actually access that. However, they also did give away Mew officially at the Pokemon tournaments that took place in malls across the United States in 1998.
Okay. Good to know.
So anyway, here's what I love about this analysis here. Wouldn't that mean that the show, if he's really against homosexuality, shouldn't he say, girls should watch this show?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he should be saying, because girls are going to watch this and get the dick lust. They're going to be watching this show and going, oh man, I love this shape. This shape is getting me all hot.
I don't understand. Yeah, it seems like he'd make I don't even know. Like, he should just be talking about it as like, said the sexual content within it, or the weird relationships or something like that, but I don't know how it relates specifically to homosexuality. That's really weird.
I'm just tired of Japanese shows and their shape bias, sir. Stop getting us to enjoy the shapes.
The only thing that you can really criticize about the Pokemon cartoon in terms of like bad content is the fact that they're like certain transition screens cause seizures in people.
That's true. God, but
Which
there
is
was
a problem.
Okay, so Team Rocket. God, is his name James?
Yeah, Jesse James.
Is that right?
And Meowth.
That's right. So is it my mistake? But James actually in one episode enters a bikini contest and he wears a pair of fake breasts.
Mm-hmm. And he has a very effective voice. He's like, "Oh, Jesse."
So why didn't he point that? I mean, I'm not saying that he would be right to point that out, but if he's already got this agenda to somehow connect Pokemon to homosexuality of any sort or to alternative lifestyles, genders, sexuality, whatever it is, go with that instead of being like, look at Charmander, he's holding a dick.
I think the answer is he's never actually watched Pokemon or played the game.
I think the answer is he really wants to touch a dick. Or he's probably touching some dicks.
It probably speaks to some repressed homosexual feelings.
I don't know. If you're sitting at home watching a children's show and being like, they're turning everybody gay, I think you're on the level.
Yeah.
What is this? Okay, that's going to do it for the idiot of the week. That's our very first entry. It was either going to be him or this hacker. I'm like, no. This guy wins. He says the Pokemon are turning people gay for the choice of homosexuality. Oh, God. I literally couldn't stop laughing. The choice of homosexuality.
Oh, Lord.
Good God. Oh, my God. Then I don't get, if it's a choice, then just go be gay. But I don't want to be gay. Oh, then what is going on? It's not a choice then, buddy. So we'll have that segment next week, but it'll be later. I just wanted to front load it a bit so you guys could get used to some of the new segments we have going on in this version of the show. So fucking stuffy in here. Let's go outside. You mind if we stop by the Chart Park? That's right, we're at the Chart Park.
The Chart Park, let's do it.
The Chart Park is where all the money grows on the trees. We talk about all the financial situations for a number of large corporations.
Oh, God.
We talk about all the money. There's lots of money to talk about.
Let's need the Chart Park.
Let's talk about all the financial news of the week. Starting off with Newzoo. They are a research firm that is projecting that in 2015, that's right, the financial year of 2015, which we just started because the last fiscal year ended March 31st, we will be reaching $91.5 billion in revenue for all of gaming. This would be impressive because that is a 9.4% increase from last year, which would be very impressive. That's close to 10%. That's pretty incredible. Mm-hmm. Like, let's say that you had an increase of 10% of sodium in your body, you die. So
that is true.
That's a good comparison. Apparently, China is going to have a large amount of growth, 23% increase, and the U.S. will have a 3% jump. This is very impressive. However, the Asian Pacific will be accounting for the most of it with a $43.1 billion in revenue.
So most is going to be coming from the new China market, right?
No. China will be only 23%, whereas the Asian Pacific market, including Korea, Japan, Germany, will account for $43.1 billion, a 15% increase. Latin America, though, will only account for $4 billion, so might as well not even ship anything there. Yeah. Latin America actually has a lot of weird rules about manufacturing within the country, as we learned with the whole Sony and Microsoft deal.
I wish more people would write about Latin American video game culture, because they're still obsessed with the Sega Genesis and Master System over there.
They finally moved on from the Master System, sadly.
That's too bad.
I know.
Master System had a 30-year lifespan over there. It was incredible.
Well, it actually helped the Game Gear increase its lifespan because they would just port the games over to the Game Gear, which is very interesting. PC is going to be the most popular platform for games this year at $27.1 billion. That's up 8%. And tablets and smartphones will be still around. They will have a 27% increase. So, look forward to that.
That's interesting that the home console market only holds about a third of the overall market share now.
It does, but I think if you actually look at game sales, I think you're going to notice a lot more, especially when it comes to general revenue. Whereas PC, they do get a lot of sales. They are from microtransactions. They are from items that are on sale. People generally don't always buy the newer titles. You'll see them at the very top of the Steam chart for a little bit. In the cases of Skyrim or Grand Theft Auto 5, but for the most part, the newer titles, It's more of an accumulative process, whereas major titles on I mean, like, really consider this. Grand Theft Auto 5 was only on the Xbox One, or Xbox 360 and PS3, earned over $1 billion in 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the type of revenue that you can make from there. However, I would not undermine PC in the slightest, as that, if you're looking at some place like Korea, consoles do not have a foothold in there. If you look at an area like Japan, mobile is taking over and consoles are going away.
Mm-hmm.
If you look over here in America, it's a fucking mess. Just in general. Now let's move on to some more money.
Yeah, tell me more about the Sharp Park.
Microsoft has posted $21.7 billion in revenue for the third quarter. That's a lot of money. That's a net income of $4.99 billion, so that's almost $5 billion.
A lot of billions.
Yeah, but here's the thing. A lot of this has to do with their association with Minecraft. They purchased the IP earlier last year. Now, they have actually only sold $1.6 million, or 1.6 million Xboxes, which is actually down by 400,000 units compared to last year in the same quarter.
They're taking a loss on every time they sell a console, too.
I think they're breaking even at this point, because
Okay.
that's when they took the Kinect out. When they didn't take the Kinect out, they were absolutely losing money on those consoles. Now, here's the thing. They also mentioned that the Xbox platform has decreased to $306 million for the quarter. That is a decline in console volume and lower prices of the Xbox One consoles compared to prior year. Overall, the hardware revenue was down to $72 million for the quarter. But they did say something about Xbox Live. Xbox Live usage grew over 30%, driven by increased users and deeper user engagement. Of course, if you're watching Netflix, that's Xbox Live, technically.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, a mixed reception. Nothing that will exactly surprise or delight anyone. Of course, they're perfectly healthy. And I'm sure whenever Sony releases their numbers, it'll make Microsoft look like the king of kings, because Sony is on fire for the past decade. But nevertheless, very disappointing numbers for the Xbox, despite a significant price drop. So, when are you going to get an Xbox One, Steve?
Never.
Oh, okay. Xbox never.
Xbox never. I'll get a PS4 one day, but that's about it. Just because I want to play Bloodborne.
That's true. Over in the UK, there's actually been a discount to the PlayStation 4. You see, the Xbox One has been discounted to £300. Pounds sterling. Cup of tea, governor. Let's commit crimes.
How many quid is that?
What is quid? Is that
I don't
change?
know what quid is.
You know?
I don't know.
That's why I love British
Isn't that the
comedy.
game that Harry Potter plays?
Yeah, that is. That's what I love about British comedy, is that they, even when they're not trying to make a joke, I'm laughing at like their currency, and they're just like, "Oh, let me go to my flat. You live in a flat? What do you gotta be squished down to live in your flat? You fucking weirdos!" They got a queen and shit. That's stupid. Moving on, though, they
Hot take on Europe from Captain America over here.
Xbox One is £300. I'm kidding. I love you, England. You're far more sane than America.
If the Xbox One is going to be £300, it should really consider like changing its diet and maybe starting an exercise regimen.
PlayStation 4 has now lowered its price at a number of retailers to an all-time low of £290, undercutting the Xbox One by £10. Now, over here in America, the Xbox One is at $350 with all the price cuts, and the PlayStation 4, for all intents and purposes, at retailers is around $350.
I would say, isn't £290 like? Wouldn't that be about $350 US?
That is about correct.
Ish. Okay.
A little bit more, but exchange rates and all that. This is interesting because over here in America, that Sony doesn't have the interest of lowering their price below Microsoft, but they do over in the UK, showing priority of the UK. I don't blame them. The UK is a smaller market, but it's a very passionate market that is going to definitely pick up more games traditionally than some of the US and Japanese market. So, I mean, you gotta consider Japan has a very small population, and look at all the time they focus there. The UK has much more potential, so they definitely want to get them to get out there and do more pre-ordering and stuff, which has become sort of a problem. There's a recent study that says more UK gamers are not pre-ordering, which isn't good for the money.
I don't give a fuck. Don't pre-order games. Why would you? Unless your name is Colin and you do a series called, Worst Hour.
Worst Hour.
Worst Hour. Haha. Thumbs down on YouTube. Worst Hour. Worst hour of my life. Don't pre-order games. Why are you pre-ordering games?
But that's very bad for the money, because the money's not moving.
Yeah, unless you want to help out the shark chart.
Keep moving the money, everybody.
Are you gonna try and be the new Batman for Suicide Squad? Is that what you're...
20% of UK gamers say they are either pre-ordering fewer titles or have stopped pre-ordering altogether. 5% said that they actually pre-ordered more games, and 49% said they never pre-order anyway. That's not good for the money. But that's very interesting that the UK says that. But we do have the sales charts and the Ookie sales charts over in the UK. Number 1 is Mortal Kombat X. Does that surprise you?
No, not at all.
Number 2 is Battlefield 5. Number 3 is Battlefield Hardline. Wait. Let's start from 10 and work our way up. How's that? Number 10 is Dying Light. Number 9 is Minecraft PlayStation Edition. Number 8 is Minecraft Xbox Edition. Number 7 is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Number 6 is Far Cry 4. Number 5 is Bloodborne. Number 4 is FIFA 15. Number 3 is Battlefield Hardline. Number 2 is Grand Theft Auto 5. And number 1, Mortal Kombat 10. Moving over to Japan, they had some pretty good sales for their hardware.
All right, here comes my favorite segment. Colin pronounces Japanese video game names.
Hold on, we got to talk about what system sold, Steve. Come on, bro. Okay, the PlayStation 4 sold 15,419 units, while the Vita sold 14,568 units. The new 3DS LL, that's the XL over here, sold 14,047 units. The Wii U sold 6,323 units, whereas the new 3DS, that's the smaller size, only sold 5,324. PlayStation 3 still managed to squeak by with 4,175, whereas the old 3DS XL is only at 1,309, with the original 3DS shortly behind at 1,144. The Vita TV barely made a blip at 491, and in last place, Xbox One with a very appropriate 170 units.
That's amazing, because that means that, like, literally 0 people bought an Xbox 360 in Japan.
Well, they do count shoplifting in here.
Oh.
Now let's talk about the top 10 best-selling games. As you'll notice a pattern, once again, Yokai Watch is very visible on this list. At number 10, Yokai Watch 2 Shinuku. Number 9...
Is that a Wonder Swan port? Or
that is on the 3DS.
Okay.
Number 9 on the PlayStation 4 is Bloodborne. Number 8 on the PlayStation 3 is probably my favorite name of the week. 3rd, Super Robot War Z Tengoku Hen. Number 7 on the Wii U is Mario Party 10. Number 6 on the PlayStation Vita is that robot game again. Number 5 is on Robot the PlayStation Hens. 3 is One Piece Pirate Warriors 3, made by Omega Force, the same people that make Samurai Warriors and all that. Number 4, curious enough, is Minecraft PlayStation Vita Edition. Number 3 on the 3DS is Future Card.
What the hell is that?
Most baffling, though, number 2 on the PlayStation 4 is Dying Light, a first-person platform game. And number 1 on the 3DS is Girls Mode 3.
Ah, Girls Mode.
Yes.
One of my favorite modes.
I do try and generally play Girls Mode if I have an option. And if I can multiply that by 3, even better. 3 is a hell of a number. But yes, it's worth noting that, yes, 2 of the top 5 games are first-person, which would have been inconceivable 15 years ago.
Yeah, Japanese people generally don't buy a first-person shooter console game.
They like looking at their characters.
Made by an American company.
They technically made by a German company,
okay.
Techland. And that's going to do it for the chart mark. I'm a mark for the chart park. The land where money grows on trees. All the money. I love money. Man, so much other stuff to do. So much other stuff to get to. We still got that brand new segment, Pocket Talk, coming up.
Yeah, Packet Tack.
Well, I don't know. Do you want to talk about the games of the week while we're just here?
Of the week.
Games of the week. Steve, you said you were playing just Nuclear Throne, right?
Yeah, that's all I have time for. I've been working on my master's thesis, and I don't have time to play video games, so I'll just play like Nuclear Throne in 20-minute bursts. And that's about it.
Okay.
Most of my other time I've been spending listening to Billy Joel records and drinking beer by myself.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Which Billy Joel records are you listening to?
The Stranger and Glass Houses.
Those are the good ones.
Those are my 2 favorites. So yeah, if you drink like 12 beers and then listen to those 2 albums, and then you write a bunch of stuff, and then your girlfriend comes home, she's like, "What are you doing?" And you're like drunken in your underwear, typing on your computer while Billy Joel is blasting. That's a good way to spend your week.
I think you either
but
have
also
to go
Nuclear Throne.
And Nuclear. I think you gotta go 100% or 0% on Billy Joel. Like, if I was like listening to a mix CD and Billy Joel songs on there, I'm not digging it. I'm like, get this. I can't do it.
You gotta get the deep cuts in there, man.
Yeah, I can't do I can't shift from every other genre to him.
No,
He's too out there, man.
Too singular.
You know. You know who I don't care for, and it breaks my heart, is Ben Folds' solo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I grew up loving Ben Folds 5, but my God, he can't.
Yeah.
Nothing.
He's a brick on your MP3 player, and it's drowning.
You know, that song's about an abortion. The abortion that is Ben Folds' solo career.
Oh, hot take.
No, seriously.
No, I don't listen to Ben Folds solo either. He's just a boring white guy.
Yeah.
Like, Billy Joel is an interesting white guy who plays piano, and Ben Folds is his boring analog.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Joel is cheesy as fuck, but, like, you know, so are comic books, and I love comic books. You know what I mean? Cheesy is not a bad thing, you know?
And all the haters out there, you go and you get on the YouTubes and you listen to Sleeping with the Television On by Billy Joel, and if you're not moved,
yeah,
get fucked.
Yeah, seriously. If you're not listening to Billy Joel and you're just trying to avoid him, he's everywhere. And avoiding something so much can give you a heart attack. You ought to
drink
know.
12 beers.
I'm the same way with Randy Newman. Mm-hmm. People are always like, why the fuck do you listen to Randy Newman? He's that weird, old, polite man. And it's like, you do realize he uses the N-word in, like, a lot of his material. Like, that man, and he says fuck all the time. He's very subversive.
Doesn't like short people either.
They've got no reason to live.
No.
And I love LA became the song for LA for like 5 years, even though the whole song is about how much he actually hates everywhere. Mm-hmm. Have you heard the intro to that song?
Oh, yeah.
Where he talks about how New York is, everyone's just a bunch of monkeys. Jesus, what? Okay.
Oh, Randy Newman. Okay. But hey, games of the week. Yeah, Nuclear Throne. It's still in early access, but it's not an early access game. It's fully functional. They update it every week. The developers are really open, actually. Rami, one of the guys on the team from Vlambeer. Oh, yeah, it's a Vlambeer game. So, makers of Super Crate Box, makers of Luftrausers.
God, wait, what?
Yeah.
I never connected that.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Super Crate Box is awesome.
Yeah, and Luftrausers is great, too.
Sure, but no one played Super Crate Box. Please play that game.
Yeah, it's like free, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's either free or it's 99 cents on Steam. But anyways, Nuclear Throne is great. I think it's as good as Binding of Isaac almost in terms of like metagame and things to do. It's very difficult.
So
very
you are
difficult.
a pro Binding of Isaac on that.
Yeah, I like Binding of Isaac a lot.
I am in the opposite threshold, but I understand why people like it.
Mm-hmm.
Personal preference.
It's difficult. My only problem with Isaac is the metagame is it's so hard for me to get into, and the fact that there's so many items and there's no descriptions for those items, and then so it's almost like you have to have the wiki up while you play. Whereas
that's really true.
Yeah, Throne is a lot more. The gameplay itself is more difficult.
You're really just gonna start calling it Throne. It's a 2-word title, and you're trying to shorten it. Why don't you just call it like
NT,
NT. I fucking knew you were gonna do that.
Yeah. Well, because people call playing Nuclear Throne throning. So.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
Those people must be stopped.
It's a vibrant community.
No.
But yeah, it's a cool
wait,
game.
Wait.
It's very difficult to master, but it's easier to get into.
In case you don't know what Nuclear Throne is, can you give it like a small summarization of it?
Sure. Well, I'm gonna sound like a broken record because every time I come in here and talk about it,
no,
it's procedurally generated.
Yeah.
It's a top-down procedurally generated game where you shoot things. You play as these little mutants. And you have to kill all the enemies on screen. Once you kill, or all the enemies in an area. Once you kill all the enemies in the area, a portal opens up. Enemies drop experience points. There's crates with new weapons in them. When your experience grows and you level up, you get to choose a mutation. So, one mutation might give enemies less health. One might make it so if some enemies automatically regenerate your health. There's all kinds of different mutations. You build up mutations, and your job is to go through all these different procedurally generated levels and eventually kill the throne.
And you like this?
I do.
Okay.
Quite a bit. It's probably, of those games, it's right up there with Isaac, like top tier, and much easier to kind of understand the metagame, although the gameplay it's very difficult.
Now, to be fair, this week, you were on my mind. Yeah.
I like to think that I'm always on your mind, Colin.
Wait, oh crap, who did that? That was a 1960s song, when I woke
up
on
my
mind. Who did that? Who did that?
I don't know.
God, that song is good. God, I gotta go listen to it. It's a girl group. It's a girl group.
Oh, it was Mamas and the Papas?
No.
It wasn't a girl group though, because there was a guy singing too.
No, there's two different versions of it. Because I forget who wrote the song. I think the guy wrote the song, but the girl is what got it popular.
Oh.
It's a long story. That is a good ass song though. Moving on.
The chorus.
Ziggurat. You know the chords?
Chorus.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like you play guitar. Moving on. I should mention Ziggurat is what I was thinking about because that's a procedurally generated first-person game. That is an RPG that you go into randomly procedurally generated rooms,
Mm-hmm.
you kill the monsters, you level up, you pick a perk, you go into random areas, and you can pick up additional perks through cards, and you can select a character that gives you different abilities, such as more regeneration on your core weapon, as well as 3 different weapon modes, including like a freeze attack or a spread attack, and there's 3 different gauges of magic that you collect. I just think you should really check it out. I don't want to get fully into it, but
All
really,
right.
it's so up your alley.
Sounds right up my alley. Yeah.
It is the best of the bunch. I've not played
Yeah.
Nuclear Throne, but I think this is the best. And besides that, it's gorgeous. They have these evil carrots that try and kill you, and they're so perfect. They're so perfect.
Yeah, I think like when you were describing it to me, I didn't recognize the name at first, but I think I saw because it used to be in early access, I believe. Or
It came
might
out
still be.
it came out in October of last year on
Okay.
PC. It came out on PlayStation 4 just this week.
Just recently. Okay.
Which, by the way, the frame rate is not great, but please play that game anyway. It's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think Jim Sterling played it when it was in early access, and it was like, oh, that looks cool, but then I kind of forgot about it. So I'm glad that you played it because I want to play that. I want to play Tower of Guns, and I'm just going to get my procedurally generated first-person game on.
I think Tower of Guns is a really good game. I think it has a better sense of humor, far and away. It's a much funnier game, but the Ziggurat is the better game.
All right.
Hands down. Just from a graphical standpoint.
Well, as a poor man with limited time and probably only one game purchasing option, I guess I'll go with that one.
Yeah, well, it sounds like fucking Charlie Bucket over here. Like, I
Charlie
can only
Bucket.
get one candy bar.
That's about it. That's where I'm at.
Slow down, lad.
Gotta wait for the Steam sale when it's 90% off.
Oh, my God. All right, I guess let's probably actually talk about the games that I'm actually talking about.
Yeah, what the fuck you playing?
This is going to be very, very quick on this one. Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. It is a 2D game that takes place in China and is a part of the Assassin's Creed series.
Do tell.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Chronicles is going to be this new series that's all in 2D, even though it's made in a 3D engine. And if there's any indication from this release, it's going to be a stealth game, which the Assassin's Creed series has always claimed to be a stealth game, but never really was. Well, they always said they were.
Yeah.
I mean, and there are elements of stealth in Assassin's Creed, like hiding in crowds. This game is not about hiding in crowds. This is about entering into places you're not supposed to be from the get-go. And if you're spotted, you go into an alarm and yada, yada, yada. Honestly, it plays a lot like Mark of the Ninja.
I was just about to ask you if it was like Mark of the Ninja, because when you were
Oh,
describing it, I was like, that sounds exactly like Mark of the Ninja.
It is very much a Mark of the Ninja, including the idea of having like a quick button to hide from one space to another. So if you're hiding in the ground, you look forward, you tap A or X or whatever it is, and you'll jump into the closet next there.
Sure,
and then you'll pull the guy in, you'll kill him, and then you can hide the body or whatever. It's a lot like Mark of the Ninja, although it doesn't have. It does have like an element of time freezing. But it's not like 100%. Remember like how in the Mark of the Ninja you could just press a button and you could explore your environment while you're in the middle of the air?
Yeah.
It's not as much as that, but there is like a time freezing element. You can interact with your environments by like saying throwing stars in and cutting a rope and having a box fall down, having people investigate. Sometimes you want them to slightly see you so that they'll go and investigate and you can sneak around behind them. All in all, I think it's an excellent game. I think they're doing a fantastic job with this brand new Assassin's Creed series. Does it feel like Assassin's Creed? Not really. Is the story really related to Assassin's Creed? Vaguely, where it's kind of like, I work for the Brotherhood. It is a female protagonist, which marks the second time in the series that they have a female.
Spin-off.
Well, it was a 2D game, so it was easier to animate the female form, I guess. So
that's very difficult in 3D games.
Hey, good. I'm getting an award. What is? Oh, for the smuggest
So
joke.
it's a Ubisoft game, so
It works great.
Is there's no glitches?
It's
no,
perfect.
Do I have to climb any towers?
Sure. But it's more naturalistic. Like
Okay.
you'll climb on top of a tower, and without having to peer around the environment, you just do the eagle drop into like the whole wheelbarrow.
Okay, fair enough. But I guess the bigger question, there's not like spammy busy work
Nope.
all over the map. Okay,
Nope,
well that's a bonus.
It's segmented levels, and the stealth elements are really intelligently designed. You'll be hiding behind curtains that you need to get behind because there'll be 2 guys, but you need to actually stop an extra 2 seconds ahead of time because otherwise the curtains will move after you stop moving. So it's like it's elements like that are kind of like, yeah, you could move right now, but you probably should be careful.
So this continues the trend of them creating like little small digital download spin-off games that are actually more compelling and probably more well crafted than their actual big releases.
Well, I don't know. The Crew was probably my game of the year.
You mean Far Cry 3?
Oh God, I for the life of me, Far Cry 4, I will never understand. It's fine. It's a fine game. I'll never understand why people get so obsessed with that game. But I will say, Ubisoft, very good job. Can't wait for the next one. Storyline is okay. I got a big beef with almost every video game right now. Learn how to mix your fucking audio. The music should never be louder than the voice acting. There's a pro tip.
Weird.
It happens in nearly every game. Like once you notice it, you can't not see it, hear it, hear the seeing is believing. Okay, that's enough. Assassin's Creed Chronicles. Go check it out. It's a very good game. If you are into stealth games, I had a lot of fun with it. Very accessible if you're not into stealth games. You'll enjoy it. Very, very good. Moving on. This is the game I need to talk about most this week. It is Project Spark, which of course is the game that allows you to create your own games. That I remember at the Midwest Gaming Classic, most people laughed when they talked about it. They went, man, it sounds great, but it doesn't work at all. Project Spark is essentially like a highly stripped down version of Game Maker that allows you to just make your own stages, make your own first-person shooters, make your own platformers, RPGs, make your own game. A lot of potential in there. The only problem is that it's really glitchy and its frame rate is all over the place. So what better way to entice people to maybe check out this free-to-play, although you can purchase it for all the additional content if you want to make more stages. Just say it. Just say it. For $5, you can play this brand new game. Or for $10, you can actually use all of the content and build your own stages for Conker. And Conker's Big Reunion, which is the very first Conker game since... well, I guess new game since Live and Reloaded in 2005.
It's a game within a game.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to get this out of the way. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen Microsoft do to one of their first parties, like one of their intellectual properties. I think they should have never released it. I think it was a huge mistake. It's shockingly bad, shockingly broken, poorly executed, a total misuse of everything.
You got a first-hour video up of it?
Yeah, and which had a lot of people saying, this game is awesome, I can't wait to play it. Kids, I want to let you know something. You can watch something, but if you play something, it's very different from watching something. And it's very important. Very important. You might be saying, I don't understand why you can't just beat this guy in Final Fantasy. Just keep clicking attack. It's like, no, kids, there's more going on here. Bunch of idiots. And they're all just saying, you have your bias, sir. And it's like, fucking hell. Okay, guess what? I own all the consoles. I don't care what shiny toy you have. If the game sucks, it sucks. And trust me when I say, Conker's Big Reunion is hot fucking garbage. Shameful. Shameful. Shame on you, Microsoft. Like, seriously, shame on you. You have just taken one of those IPs that everyone kept begging for, and you have destroyed it. If you better take this off the market immediately, because if anyone catches wind of it, you've ruined your character. I'm dead fucking serious. Oh, where's Duke Nukem Forever? We love Duke Nukem Forever. Here's Duke Nukem Forever. You guys want another Duke Nukem? We're good. That's what happens. You have people have a fever pitch for Conker, and then you release this. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting off track here.
Why is it so bad? What's wrong with it?
First and foremost, it doesn't look like a game that had a budget. Like, it starts off, and Conker's lips aren't moving while the voice acting's going on, and it's already like, that's a red flag, even though they got the original voice actor back. He wakes up next to a pile of like dead squirrels, and it's never explained what the hell that's about.
And this is Bad Boy Conker, not like Happy-Go-Lucky Conker? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But Conker from Conker Bad Fur Day. Basically, long story short, you have to pay your tab at the what is that? The Cock and Plumber or whatever they call it, the bar. Yeah, and so you need to get $300 together, and then they make a joke about microtransactions, and Conker's like, whatever happened to just paying for a game and getting it? Which is funny because
it's
Project
in a game.
Spark.
What? Oh!
Project Spark is one of the most egregious offenders of.
That's disgusting. Honestly, that's horrible.
So right off the bat, I don't care if it's 30 frames a second. I don't care if it's 60 frames a second. I don't care if it's 20 frames a second. Fucking pick one, because this game just all over the place. The frame rate cannot stay steady for one bit. If you don't believe me, watch the video on YouTube and watch it at 60 frames a second. Otherwise, you won't notice the dips, because it'll go above and below and all over the place, all while you're trying to play the game. It's so fucking frustrating. On top of that, the stage design is atrocious. All the stages have those teddies from Conker. It's just those teddies, remember, that were appeared in maybe one or two stages of Conker's Bad Fur Day?
Yeah.
Well, now they're all the villains. Oh. And so it'll try and have basic platforming, like, oh, you're going into a brewery. Whoa, drinking. That doesn't belong in a video game. Because, based off humor from when 64 was popular.
Yeah.
The combat is just so fucking simple. You're just walking up and hitting people. And then you have like this platforming area where you have to avoid these gushing barrels. I defy you to watch. You can watch First Hour Weekly because they did a super cut of it. It took me 3 tries to get past these barrels. And if you watch, I do absolutely nothing different. I'm never in front of the barrels that are pushing me off the stage. So there's the glitch.
Jesus.
Oh, no, it gets worse. The second stage is like this stealth combat where they're just making jokes about Metal Gear Solid. You know, the game from 1998. That's staying topical. You're in this barrel and you're just walking around, and sometimes people notice you, but they don't do anything about it. It just seems like the people noticing you was already pre-rendered. Like, it's not anything to do with your actions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, like, not actually playing a game. And then the last stage is where it really fucking falls apart. I guess that you can do it whatever order you want. You walk into a room, you stand in the middle of this room, and you have 2 machine guns, and you can't move. You just have to move left or right.
It was like a turret stage?
You're like, yeah, but you're just holding machine guns, and you're shooting these teddies, and they run up, and then they hold their hands up. And then after about a good 3 seconds, they start shooting at you. And it takes forever, and Conker's complaining the whole time during this DLC about how bad the game is. It's like, shut the fuck up. Don't do that. He's like...
I hate when games do that. Like, just because... So you're conscious of the fact that you just sold a product to someone that's shit. And then you think that by talking about it in the open, that makes it better? No, that just makes you an asshole.
He's yawning during this shooting sequence. He's complaining that he can't fly over the barrels like every other environment when I'm getting knocked off the barrels over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the shooting sequence takes forever, I take on this boss, which... Like, there's just no context for what the fuck is going on. You walk in there and this teddy shakes its head and then it starts glowing green and it gets really big and then you see giant testicles. It's like, well, it's got testicles. Which, by the way, Conker was never just about testicles. It was about, like, tits and ass and blood and violence. And this game is so nerfed. It's just like, look, testicles. We're being authentic. Oh, we talked about putting something in someone's butt. How authentic is that? And it's like, no, you're supposed to be showing large breasts. That's what was shocking about that game. We never get nudity in games. Like, you want to shock me? Put a pair of tits in there. I might not appreciate it, but I'll at least say, well, you have balls. But...
Well, testicles are one thing. Why not a big floppy, flaccid teddy bear penis?
Sure.
What if you got beat like a tentacle monster, but with their floppy, flaccid bear penis? Just slapping you.
Yeah, sure. That's funny. I mean, that's funnier. I might not appreciate, but it's funnier than just like, oh, hit this bear in the testicles. But eventually, after you attack him, or at least for me, he threw this rock at me, which sent me like a good 100 feet in the air, where I died.
Oh.
And then I restarted, dead. And then I restarted, dead. And I restarted, dead. The game broke. The game fucking broke. I couldn't launch. Eventually, and if you watch the first hour, I'm just holding up the controller. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. All right? I'm not doing anything. It's just broken. So you know what you have to do? Hit the restart button. That whole 50 minutes all over again. It's glitchy. There's only 2 voice actors. The audio is mixed poorly. The gameplay is horrific. Conker doesn't feel attached to his environments. He stutters when he walks. And even people on the comments on the video are like, I don't understand. Conker controls fine if you make your own level. He controls like shit if you play it in this DLC pack. Yeah, so
that's so weird.
It's an absolute abomination. Shame on you, Microsoft. Take this down. Don't give it away for free. I even at one point was like, man, they should have made this free. But then I realized, no, they shouldn't. They need to hide this. If you want to see a good Conker game or a Conker game in the future, get rid of it. Abomination. Goddamn, Microsoft. Get your head out of your ass. Like, seriously. How could you fund that and release that? Unbelievable.
Jesus.
Okay.
Worst thing you played since Bloopy the Robot or whatever that game was?
Bloopy the Robot. Yeah, sure. I love Bloopy.
What was it? What was that called again?
Yorby.
Why didn't they call it Bloopy?
I don't know. You literally said Yorby backwards, though. I don't know if you're trying to send it back to the 5th dimension.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, a little bit. Anyway, let's get on to the brand new segment that we have here, which is very, very short, appropriately, because it's Pocket Talk.
Packet Tack?
No, not Pack Attack. Michael Pachter is not involved in this. But Pocket Talk is the part of the show where we talk about all the things going on in mobile, that gosh darn new fangled mobile stuff that's been going on since 2007.
Yeah, what's up with kids and cell phones?
Well, let's talk about things that aren't going on with cell phones or kids, Apple Watches. Yes, the Apple Watch officially launched for any man-child that feels like they need to get rid of money as fast as possible for the feds catch on. And with a brand new Apple piece of software, they have brand new games, including Watch Quest, Heroes of Time.
Of
Yeah.
course. Because
Solve-
that's what you name your watch game.
The quest can take up to anywhere from an hour to an entire day to solve. Wow. Then there's Spy Watch, which is from the makers of Surgeon Simulator. Trivia Crack, which is a trivia game.
Yeah.
Letter Zap, which allows you to zap letters. Rules! Exclamation point, which is another puzzle game. Lifeline, which was written by David Justice. He's the Fables, The Wolf Among Us writer.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Modern Combat 5, on the other hand, is actually a companion that allows you to switch out your perks for your phone version,
Sure.
as is Walker Galactic Adventures or Galaxy Adventures and Real Racing 3. It's a companion app, which is basically what the iWatch or Apple Watch is. It's just a companion to your phone.
Has anybody come out with a mod yet that reskins it so it looks like the watch from GoldenEye 64?
I knew you were going with that. I wish. Seriously though, what the fuck do you need a fucking Apple Watch? It's its first generation.
Well, I mean,
Why would you buy the first generation of any Apple product?
to be fair, the answer to the question, why do you need a smartwatch, is I don't fucking know. But
Yeah.
when the thing you're holding in your hand, the iPad, first came out, I was like, who the fuck needs that?
I did too.
I got a laptop, I got a phone. Why
Yep.
do I need an in-between? And here we are.
But here's the thing about a tablet, which I didn't realize at the time, is that it was mimicking a piece of paper or a newspaper. That's very functional, whereas a laptop is mimicking a typewriter in a way,
Yeah.
mixed with a newspaper.
Sure,
So
sure.
this is more naturalistic. You're making a watch into a fucking watch? That's not being creative at all.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want one, but
No.
I don't know.
Do you see that guy on CNET that accidentally bought an Xbox One? He was trying to show off the Amazon function.
And
and
he
he's-
just did buy now on
yeah,
like, an
and he
Xbox
went,
One.
"Oh my god, we have to stop the video." It's amazing. Oh, well, anyway, now moving on to something that I actually like. Grown men getting their sweaty bodies all up on each other with UFC.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I was talking to a friend of mine. She is a lesbian, and she was talking about how UFC is awesome because she loves watching the girls grind up on each other. And she was talking about how UFC is the gayest thing ever, and she loves it. And she's so happy it's reached mainstream. Just saying, all you machismo guys, you know, your balls are gonna be touching a lot of man parts if you're a MMA fighter. Just putting that out there.
The good reverend should do a sermon on it.
yeah, I blame Pokemon. Otherwise, we're watching people like grind up on each other for 45 minutes. Anyway, UFC. Hi, Amber. Anyway, EA Sports, UFC. She listens. They're bringing that to mobile devices with HD quality graphics. That's right. The game actually already launched in Canada, South Korea, Russia, and Singapore 2 months ago, but it's finally come to the United States. It is basically UFC that was already released last year, except it's on mobile devices.
So is it going to have a similar control scheme to like that WWE fighting game?
Oh, the one-
/ the DC fighting game?
Did I? I got WWE 2K15 on the Android device. I got to show it to you.
Oh, okay.
It's actually really good.
Is it good? Okay.
Yeah. No. It's more like the one I just talked about, WWE 2K15, where you're
Okay.
actually tapping on certain parts and attacking, rather than just based on swiping.
Okay.
There are more than 70 fighters available too, across 4 divisions. It's very, very impressive. Moving on to the biggest thing in mobile games, it's got to be Angry Birds and their sub-series, Angry Birds Stella. That's the one that has the pink bird, as opposed to that angry red bird. God, he is so fucking charismatic.
What makes him so angry? Maybe we'll never know.
I don't know.
Telltale should get on that.
I only had sex once, and I got genital warts. That would piss me off.
Why is he mad at the pigs?
Well, because
Yeah.
H Pig V. Angry Birds Stella has now officially hit 30 million downloads thanks to Angry Birds Stella Pop, which is a brand new entry in Angry Birds Stella. It was released last month and already hit 5 million downloads.
Jesus.
So, here's what they had to say over at Rovio. The head, Henny Kahoo, I'm not sure if that's a he or a she, so we're just going to go gender neutral on this. They said, like all Angry Birds games, Angry Birds Stella Pop appeals to a wide demographic of gamers. Ugh. But we're delighted to see it has a strong following of female millennials globally, and has resonated especially in the U.S. You know what? As much as I hate everything she's saying, or he's saying, that's probably why they're so rich.
Yep.
Yep.
Has wide appeal.
All right. Put it back in your pocket. Pocket talk
Yeah.
is over.
Right. Stick it back in your pants. We're done.
What? What? Stick a bag in your pants.
No, stick it back in your pants. Not
Oh, I
stick a
think
bag
it's
in your pants.
stick a bag
Stick
in
a
your
bag in your pants.
Go to the grocery store, stick a bag in your pants. Holy crap, man.
Stick it back in your pants. We're done.
Do you even play iPhone games or not?
No, I played WWE Supercard for a while until it crashed on my tablet and reset my save.
Yeah.
And then I stopped playing because that made me sad.
Do you WWE 2K15 on the phone is actually really good.
Is it? I like playing games on the tablet more because I like the bigger screen.
Yeah.
Also, my phone's a little bit older, so it's kind of like dicey.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe I'll get that, or maybe I'll just wait for the PC version because I know there's going to be some goofy.
They're
ass
totally
mods.
different. They're totally different games.
Yeah.
But it's really good. I think that they basically what they did is they took the images of the environments, created a still out of them, created limited animation. So they're kind of nerfing it a bit, removing the actually rendered environment.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
I don't know. Okay.
What do we got?
We have
What's after Pack Attack?
Well, next we got the big shoe. This is where we talk all about latest shoes in video game. We don't actually have that.
Oh,
I can work on that. How much time do we have left?
I don't know.
Good God, we have 35 minutes. It's time for the pressure points.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 4 may have been leaked thanks to a survey that was apparently given out. Where was it leaked? Guess, NeoGAF. That's correct. Here's a summary of what they had to say. They said that the game objective will involve exploring over 100 planets, hundreds of solar systems. 4 times the size of Mass Effect 3. They're going to have new species. They're going to have some different squad mates, loyalty missions, and they're going to keep those meaningful choices in dialogue. They also talked about how there will be hundreds of surfaces to explore for planets using the Mako. Woo woo! I love the Mako. I don't know. Did you?
Is it still in the original trilogy storyline, or like can you carry your character over like you did in the first 3 games, or?
Well, according to what we have right here,
I mean, we don't know. This is just some leak bullshit. We don't know anything.
removed by time and space from Mass Effect's Commander Shepard trilogy and its ending.
Oh, okay. So, because I didn't get into the original trilogy. I mean, I'm familiar enough with it, obviously. But that'll be nice because I can just jump in and kind of not have to worry about
Yeah,
the other stories.
I would still recommend you check out the very first Mass Effect because I think it's one of the best hodgepodges of video games ever. Now, here's the thing. This is a leak, according to a NeoGAF poster, which is generally reliable, but there's a reason it was in the Earth-Shattering stories because it's still a rumor. We don't know if that's true. Nuh-uh. Okay, moving on. Xbox EA will be very different this year, according to Phil Spencer. He says they want to focus on their new exclusive IP as well as their first-party lineup. He says it's going to feel different from the past E3s, and he even says, I like focusing on our games. Well, you gotta admit, for about,
Be a short-ass presentation. How many games you guys got?
Well, last year was pretty good. That's where we saw our very first look at Ori and the Blind Forest and Crackdown and Forza Horizon 2. We saw a lot of stuff, so I don't know how different it could actually be, but it would be nice if they were to remove that whole, Call of Duty segment where it's like, sped up for time or whatever. Here it is. Story mode. Y'all been waiting for it. Alan Wake 2 apparently was in development at one point or another. There was a video that was leaked from 2010 that was showing off what the sequel would look like. According to Sam Lake, the guy that runs Remedy, it would be more like a mood piece, a high-level thematic elements. He even talked about how they might be porting over Alan Wake Part 1 over to the Xbox One. He said, I would love that to happen. Nothing has happened yet, but we are discussing the possibility with Microsoft. I hope it happens.
I mean, you might as well just make it a digital download. None of this, remaster, whatever crap. You don't need to do that. Just port it to the new system. Put it up on the Xbox Marketplace.
There's already a PC version. Can it really be that complicated to optimize it?
No, probably not.
I mean, the architecture is x86, or x64, my mistake, because there's 8 gigabytes of RAM. I believe it would be x64. It doesn't matter. None of this fucking matters. It's fucking video games.
Video games are dumb.
I just totally destroyed the whole show.
No.
When it comes to sequels, it's our thing. We can do whatever makes sense and what's best for the franchise overall, said Sam Lake. Hopefully. Now here's something interesting. Greg Mitchell, he did the cinematics for Gears of War, but obviously Gears of War isn't owned by Epic anymore.
Nope.
It's owned by Microsoft. Well, Greg Mitchell just said deuces over to Epic and has joined Black Tusk. The
Favorite movie?
Yeah, of course. Which of course is owned by Microsoft and working on the new Gears of War. Is Greg Mitchell working on new Gears of War?
Probably.
Okay, good point.
I mean, they have to have something in the works, right? You're not just going to abandon that IP, even though the last game was pretty awful, from what I understand.
Yeah, People Can Fly couldn't help that. They kind of got shoved into that. They just made Bulletstorm. They're like, hey, that's interesting. Can you make something not like that? Yeah. But we might be getting another Gears of War sooner than later because that Marcus Phoenix collection that we heard about a couple months ago, it doesn't exist. That's not real. However, there are rumors circulating that the first Gears of War will get an HD remastering. But the game was HD, so okay, whatever. Moving on.
I wonder if the listeners can hear my eyes rolling.
Ew, stop it. So, yes, look forward to that. That's just a rumor. We have no further information on there. But we do know for a fact that Halo 3 ODST HD Remake will be out next month, according to 343 Industries. We're excited about the progress of the Relic multiplayer map remake and the campaign for Halo 3 ODST, both of which are on track to release within Halo the Master Chief Collection next month. With our next content update, look for more details next month, including the final name for the Relic remake. Oh yeah, they always change it.
Broken Halo HD games.
Now, if you played Halo the Master Chief Collection between November 11th and December 19th, you get that ODST remake for free. But if you didn't, you don't get nothing. No word yet on when you'll actually be able to pay for the ODST remake, which I am actually looking forward to because ODST had a very unique storyline and probably the best music of the series.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of Halo nerds often cite it as one of the best, if not the best, in the series. So.
That's okay. I don't care what Halo nerds think.
I don't either.
I just want to put that out there.
Halo nerds.
You know what? I am actually more of a fan of Star Ocean nerds and Harvest Moon nerds than even Halo nerds. Halo nerds would be at the very bottom of the list because, the games make no fucking sense. How could you write all these books and not pay attention to them? I mean, they get some things right where it's like, oh yeah, his spacesuit between Halo 1 and 2 got changed so we can get fall damage. It's like, okay. Yeah, they actually put that in the fucking book. Good God.
It's canon. It's canon.
Quit it already. But don't quit your matches on the Master Chief Collection. Yes, the latest update, according to 343 Industries, will affect those gosh darn quitters. It says, if you quit a match, your ranking will be impacted, and this may result in dropping a level.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, you have to... The matching system has to work before you can drop out of the match, right?
Well, the reason they're adding this is, I guess, it's working out okay.
Is it finally working? That's good.
What everyone's... I'll
Man,
check
it only took 6 months for a new video game to start working.
Actually, old video games.
Yeah, you're right.
Here's what they also said: all quits and betrayals. Betrayals? When you hit your teammate in the back of the head and kill him instantly. It started in Halo 3. Are being trafficked. They're trafficking these betrayals. Are being tracked automatically, and action is being taken against offending players who commit these offenses more than what is considered normal behavior. Which is good, because if your game just drops out, you're not going to drop a level, which is okay. So many updates are coming, so look forward to that.
Good.
What if I told you that I need some ham?
I don't know. Do you?
Really don't know where I'm going with this?
You need some pork in your life?
Yeah, and I'm too much pork. Pork? What is that? What's that? A political term? Pork.
Pork barrel?
Pork barrel. Because now they just call it pork. They don't even say pork barrel. They shorten everything. Certainly they're just going to say P. PK. PK Fire! Well, you know who doesn't need ham?
Who?
John Needham, because he's got it right in his name. This is really what I'm doing. He actually is the former Lionhead boss, but now he's been promoted to oversee internal development for over several Xbox studios, as well as HoloLens. Here's what they had to say. John Needham relocated to Redmond in a new role overseeing internal development for several games and experiences for both Microsoft and Xbox, as well as HoloLens. All up responsibility for, I don't know. This is like a bunch of
promotion. Lionhead guy gets a promotion.
Good for him. And Shovel Knight, of course, is going to dig its way to Xbox Live later this week. I think it's going to be out on Tuesday. If you've never played Shovel Knight before, that's okay. I don't care if you play Shovel Knight or not. I really don't. But you need to buy it. You just need to give them money.
Is this the final port? Is it going anywhere else?
No, it already has been released to PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, PlayStation 3, Wii U, PC, and now with the Xbox One version, they will have the Battletoads included.
Okay, but that's it then. There's no more ports after this?
Interestingly enough, I don't think it's coming to 360.
Oh, well, whatever.
Okay, speaking of video games, Splatoon, Steve's favorite game of 2015, is going to be released on May 29th. But if you don't own a Wii U and you want to play the game and you want to get a copy of that gosh darn Splatoon, you can actually pick it up at Best Buy with a Splatoon bundle. It even has a box and everything. The box looks cool. It's like a U with a yellow background. It's got all the paint splotches all over it.
Oh, cool.
May 29th. That's about a month away.
Yeah, coming up soon.
All right, so you got to add me on your PSN.
Oh.
PSN.
PSN.
Yeah, add me on PSN because I'm not playing that fucking game. Masahiro Sakurai, he of course is the man behind Smash Brothers. He had a lot to say about DLC. Let him drop some knowledge on you. You're going to love this.
Dropping bombs. Let's go.
These days, the DLC scam has become quite the epidemic, charging customers extra money to complete what was essentially an unfinished product. If you were looking to make a profit, DLC would be the way to go. Development is more costly than ever, yet the prices of games has remained the same, so more income would help offset the imbalance. I completely understand how aggravated players must feel. After all, a game should be 100% done at the time of release, and I would be livid if it were split up and sold in pieces. The DLC we are releasing for Smash is authentic, developed only after we finish working on the main game. Of course, said content will come to you at a premium as compensation for the work put into developing additional content post-production. God damn.
Yeah, I mean, he's 100% right. There's nothing wrong with additional content for games. We've been playing, we called them expansion packs back when they were released in like the 90s and stuff.
You spent $40, but you got like a brand new game, essentially based off of the old engine.
The stuff that's gross is day one DLC, on disc DLC, things like that. It's just totally inappropriate, and you shouldn't, break up games like that and sell them piecemeal like a dickhead. That's not cool.
Dude, back when we had expansion packs, consider this, people. I'm going to make a video game. Okay, step 1, design a game. Excellent. Step 2, build a freaking engine. Everybody build engines. That's why they had expansion packs. We're like, man,
all this work, we better get something out of it.
Dude, that's why games took like 5 years to release, because they were building engines and then building games. Like Deus Ex 2, holy fuck, The Invisible War. No one else used an engine. Oh, classic games are so much more fun in that way. But then again, they're a lot less janky. You get less trash. Speaking of Super Smash Brothers, more Sony documents leaked. Ah ha ha, Sony, you stupid fucks! That's a hot take for you.
Yeah.
No, I feel bad for Sony. They actually had plans for a Super Smash Brothers movie, an Uncharted movie, a Metal Gear movie, a BioShock movie, a Sonic movie, a Gran Turismo movie.
Turismo the movie. What is that? Just Fast and Furious Sony edition? Well, it's like the Need for Speed movie.
Actually, that movie is sort of in development. And one more. Oh, God, Need for Speed did exist.
Yeah, like a year ago. Not even that long ago.
Yeah,
and it was just Fast and Furious, but without everything that people like about Fast and Furious.
Well, I guess Gran Turismo was actually in the works, and it's about like somebody that wins a contest from playing Gran Turismo that actually gets to race a car and like his struggle.
So it's more of like the Wizard approach to a Gran Turismo game.
I would go less with the Wizard. I would go with oh God, I'm blanking on the name right now. Stars.
Oh yeah, The Last Starfighter.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
That was an excellent documentary. Moving on, Resident Evil HD has officially sold 1 million. It broke a PlayStation Network record as the biggest selling day one digital title, which is awesome. But there have been some problems. You see, on the PlayStation 4, if you liked Resident Evil HD, there's probably a good chance you bought Resident Evil Revelations 2. In fact, you might have pre-ordered it if you were so inclined. And if you pre-ordered it, you got special maps for raid mode. And you did get those maps. Make no mistake, you got those maps. You just can't play them. No.
Of course not.
That content, for whatever reason, is locked. Now, it was supposed to be released on February 25th, but instead, it's not released at all. According to a Sony representative, they said, our store team is aware of this issue. Thanks for the reports. Nerds. Hashtag peels out.
Oh, God.
It is also like, quit looking at my girl, nerd. It's like a high school scenario.
God.
I would love to believe that Sony store employees are like the jocks of video game fandom. I don't know. Now, you were telling me earlier you might want to get a PlayStation Vita.
Yeah, I might, maybe. But now I'm thinking I might not because of this earth-shattering pressure point.
Earth-shattering pressure point, indeed. According to NeoGAF, there's a trademark that was filed by Sony Computer Entertainment on April 1st for a controller for portable LCD. Let me get this right. This is hard to phrase. Controller for portable LCD screen game machine.
Which sounds like a Vita.
A portable is what it sounds like to me. Why did I just say that? Okay, so this might include an HDMI port, which would make it like a PlayStation TV hybrid.
That'd be cool.
And it apparently is listed as having an SD card slot. Here's my thing, though. Regardless of whether or not it's real or not, I would still recommend people go out and buy an original Vita, the very first one, not the remake.
Yeah, I have that OLED.
Oh my god, it's beautiful. It's so much better. I'm not that big of a snob, but it's like, ugh, when I see those other ones, they look like toys. They look like toys for children. Stupid, ugly children. So I don't recommend those. That's my personal recommendation. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. Remember when they had that new and tasty? And it was free on PlayStation Plus? Mm-hmm. Well, now it's been released on PlayStation 3 and Vita. Now, it is cross-play. Someone went, hooray, we're getting free copies for the PlayStation 3 and Vita. And Laurel Lanning of Oddworld and noted conspiracy theorist said, no, that costs a lot of money to port games. It's not free, so it shouldn't be free. And everyone went, wah. So he said, okay, here's what he had to say. That said, numerous factors, including fan feedback, have prompted us to change our stance on this particular matter. So if you download new and tasty for PS4 during the PS Plus period, the PS3 and PS Vita versions of the game will be free for download for you on release. By the way, have you just pay attention to the towers? Like, there are clearly bombs going off.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
No, it can't.
Well, I mean, this is almost like a bigger structural issue, too, with Sony. Just to go back to the actual...
A bigger structural issue?
Yeah. It's almost like the steel beams are melting.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like, shouldn't there be some sort of standardized way to handle crossplay?
Yeah.
I don't know why there isn't.
Well, it's more of an issue that it came out for free. Mm-hmm. So I bought the game when it launched, and so I would have gotten it for free. But the people that already got the game for free, entirely free, would then get an additional 2 ports for free. That's a bit weird. And so it was up to the developer. It's up to them always. As it was up to Bloodborne to increase its horrible load times, and it did with a 2.7 gigabyte patch.
Gross.
It could be from anywhere from 5 to 15 seconds, less for load times. But that doesn't prevent one man who's not waiting for no stinking patch. This one man, Benjamin Beersley Gwynn, he had a video called Guitar Bone, where he beat Bloodborne with an Xbox 360 Rock Band 1 guitar using a Titan 1 converter.
Nice. That had to be interesting to watch.
Jesus Christ. It just makes me feel like a fucking child. Oh, yeah, game you suck at with all these buttons? I'm going to beat it with a guitar. Look at this. No analog stick.
God.
Good.
How does movement work with that? Like, what do you...
I don't know. I
Use
assume
the
the whammy
whammy
bar.
bar?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet that's involved.
Holy shit. Okay.
That man
I'm
is a
gonna look
wizard.
This up on the YouTubes.
Well, we also know about Guitar Hero's first song. Speaking of guitars, here's what we've got. Ed Sheeran's Sing. We have Monsters and Men's Little Talks. Gary Clark Jr., Don't Owe You a Thing. And Alter Bridge, Cry of Achilles.
Isn't that like a Creed spinoff? Alter Bridge? Alter
Oh,
Bridges?
no, you're
Yeah.
right. Moving on. Rock Band 4 is officially going to be co-published by Mad Catz. Here's how it's breaking down. Mad Catz is going to be responsible for retail sales, promotions, and distribution of Rock Band 4, whereas Harmonix is going to be taking care of DLC, digital sales, and content. According to Mad Catz Chief Executive Officer, Darren Richardson, we're excited to extend our agreement with Harmonix and are confident that Mad Catz global sales force, that sounds dangerous, global sales force, go! Distribution channels and retail marketing expertise will deliver the retail success we believe Rock Band 4 will achieve in 2015 and beyond. Sorry, this is Mad Catz. I'm kind of worried that the controllers will break after 45 minutes, but they will be only $5.
Hey, in Mad Catz defense,
Yeah.
this isn't the Mad Catz of 20 years ago.
That's true.
Their biggest industry right now, or biggest selling peripheral, I should say, is like fight sticks and stuff.
That's
and
true.
They're considered like the top tier of fight sticks.
Man, if they had a Hori guitar, oh my god.
A Pelican guitar?
Dude, Pelican used to be the good company. And then, woof, what happened there? God. Good cheat devices.
Is there going to be Rock Band for the Mad Catz Android TV device?
Yeah, there's going to be, what is that? There's going to be any Rock Band for the Tiger R Zone or whatever that was. We have heard some rumors and some hints that the Oculus Rift will not meet its original 2015 predicted date. Never official. In fact, Palmer Luck even said, hey, if it's not out in 2015, something would have to go horribly wrong. But he's also backpedaled that and said, nah, hey, look, things change. We're working with Facebook now. It's a whole different scheme.
Mm-hmm.
But during a recent quarterly call, the chief financial officer of Facebook, is that a new company?
Book of Faces?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know what that's about. Weird, okay. David Warner, he said, Oculus is very much in development stage, so it's very early to be talking about large shipment volumes. That sure sounds like 2015 in the cards, or in the books.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, the hardware is just about there. I'm guessing it's a matter of, like, UI and software and things like that. So.
What about AI, directed by Steven Spielberg?
Yeah, actually, every version of the Oculus Rift is going to come preloaded with AI.
I think he really lived up to Kubrick's vision. It was a very optimistic film, and that is exactly what Stanley Kubrick is known for, uplifting, optimistic movies.
Oh, Lord.
God damn it. What if I told you that we can walk away from that and walk into a store so soon and pick up Mulan, Olaf from Frozen, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Sam Flynn, Core from Tron Legacy, and 5 other characters from that upcoming movie Inside Out for Disney Infinity figurines.
Hooray?
I don't
Shrug?
know.
I don't know either.
This is
Disney's got
according to
that
a
other
leak.
new video game thing that's like huge in Japan right now. It's like a little droppy ball match 3 thing. It's like cute anime versions of all their characters.
No, that's Pachinko, dude.
It's called it's got a dumbass name. It's called like Smush Smush or something like that. I don't know what it's called.
This story isn't lining up. First of all, Japan never has dumbass names for games, and they don't like just watching balls drop for no reason. So is it toys or anything?
Yeah. So what it is it's just this game where you have like the little ball character faces drop in, and then you have to like match 3 of them together or whatever, and then more balls drop. Whatever. It's a really simple mobile game, but it's so popular in Japan that they started selling like stuffed like Beanie Baby style versions of the game, and apparently it's the next big thing or something. I don't know. Maybe one of the listeners can enlighten us, but I don't know. It's the next big hip thing.
PressureCast@gmail.com.
That's right.
So, want to talk about Batman Arkham Knight's PC requirements? Oh, boy.
Do I?
Okay, if you want the recommended system requirements, you will need an Intel Core i7-3770 3.4 gigahertz.
Jesus, I got that.
I do, but no, it's
That's
gonna
what I
get
got.
it's gonna get scary.
Is this minimum or is this recommended?
This is recommended.
Okay, I have that.
It's gonna get scary. We got 8 gigabytes of RAM. That's not outrageous.
Okay.
But the recommended graphics card is the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 760.
Is there an ATI?
There is not an AMD listed at this current point because they have a partnership.
Yeah.
Although it will definitely function, and you can use that cross whatever thing if you really need to.
Sure.
You need 3 gigabytes of graphics memory though, which is kind of intense.
That's pretty intense, yeah.
But we're not even to the ultra setting requirement, which requires, of course, once again, i7 3770 3.4 gigahertz or AMD 4 gigahertz.
Sure.
Memory of 8 gigabytes, so we're right there. But an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 980 is for the ultra settings.
So if you don't have like a $600 video card, you can't run it.
An ultra.
Yeah.
Which is why I play things on PS4, because at least I don't have that nagging doubt that it could look better. I know that sounds weird, but it's that OCD of just being like, oh, I could get just with the Teslization.
I'm going to be able to run this on like medium to medium high, I guess, if I play it on PC. So that's okay, I suppose.
I mean, but how do you like your hamburgers? You know?
Medium rare, that's...
Do you really? Well, then
Yeah.
you should just...
So is with the PS4 then, is that going to be like the equivalent of running it on low? Is that...
It's, considering the optimization that they generally go through, and I'm speaking strictly on Arkham Knight and what they've done, their optimization is fantastic. Honestly. So I would imagine that they will probably match that of the recommended system requirements, because if you really break it down, there's no way that the processor can match that, but they know enough of what they're doing that it'll probably look pretty good.
Sure,
Whereas with PC, it's a little bit different when you're talking about, how it functions. You're designing for multiple SKUs.
Yeah.
There's no denying that. Whereas with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, I'm a little worried about the Xbox One version, to be honest. They both have 8 gigabytes of RAM, but you gotta remember Sony has the GDDR5 RAM, which is very helpful. That might keep it in somewhere in line with the graphics cards they're looking at, which also have GDDR5. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Hey, want to play WWE 2K15 on PC? Well, too freaking bad. Well, maybe. It might be coming out Tuesday.
It might be?
Yeah, we don't know.
Oh.
We have a quote here about the PC release of WWE 2K15 from residential PC expert John Cena. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that that's pretty awesome deal. I grew up playing games on my PC. Texas Instruments, Commodore 64. I was a huge PC gamer growing up, so this is big. Not only for our fans, but for me personally as well. Fans may not know this, but I was such a huge PC gamer that I bought a living room entertainment system just to play PC games back in the day. So don't be surprised if you flash forward 50 years and yours truly is sitting in his living room playing computer games. John, you're not fucking 25. Flash forward 50 years and you've been dead for 40 years. I'm just saying.
Jesus, yeah.
Fans may not know this, but I bought an entertainment system to play PC games when I was a child. Why would we know that, John? Fans may not know this. No, fans don't know that. Why would we know that? Who gives a fuck? Oh my god.
Oh god, you almost fell.
I can't take it. I'm falling over. Okay, let's talk about Killing Floor, which is in early access. It is the sequel to the original Killing Floor, which was a pretty okay Steam game that is basically had a free weekend every weekend since 1945.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Here's what they said. They are going to ban you if you are involved in cheats, cheating, and abusive behavior, and that includes griefing, racist bigotry, sexism, or any other forms of cyberbullying. We will not tolerate anyone hosting servers for the game where such behaviors are continually and repeatedly allowed to take place. So guess what? You're like, well, fuck you guys, I'll host my own server. No, you fucking won't. I love them.
Mm-hmm. Good for them, yeah.
Freedom of speech, First Amendment.
I bought your game. Why can I not say mean things?
By the way, the First Amendment right would actually fall to the developer of Killing Floor 2, which would hold their First Amendment right not to allow you to do that. Public versus private, kids. Look it up. Speaking of privates, Nathan Fillion is going to be returning as Malcolm Reynolds. I don't know. Do they have privates in Firefly?
They probably have genitals.
No, I'm talking about because he's Captain Malcolm.
Oh, you're talking about like rank, not penises. Okay.
Yeah. Rank penises.
Rank penises. Penis rank.
Top 10 penises in video games.
Corporal Bell End.
A bunch of people from Firefly are going to be involved in the Firefly MMO, which is launching later this spring and will probably be awful. Because really, how much have you seen on this?
Not much. You hear rumblings on Twitter and stuff every once in a while, but nothing is ever particularly positive or enlightening. So,
no.
I don't know. We'll see. Withhold judgment.
Axiom Verge is hitting the PC on May 14th.
Woo! Excited about that.
There are going to be female character models add H1Z1. Rockstar says they weren't hacked. You the hack. Let me try that again. Rockstar says that the people that are complaining that their Rockstar Social Club, whatever accounts, were hacked, they said, nuh-uh. Here's what they had to say. The Rockstar Games Social Club has not been compromised. However, it appears that attempts have been made to access user accounts using email and password combinations from an unaffiliated, compromised website or database elsewhere on the internet. For the accounts affected, we are in the process of reverting those accounts back to their original owners. As a reminder, it is a good policy to ensure that Rockstar Games Social Club account username and password is not shared across multiple websites on the internet. And the other users are saying, no, you stole, so you fucked up.
My password is 1234. What's wrong with that?
My password is much better. It's ABC,
Yeah.
followed by 123.
Have you considered changing your password to password?
Password1.com.
Ah.
Is that website open? I would love that, password1.com. Your number one stop source for a password.
Good password ideas.
Have you tried password1.com? Why not just make it your phone number? That information's secret. Pierre Molyneux's protege, he was the co-creator of whatever. co-creator of whatever the fuck is coming up with Peter Molyneux's protege. I don't know.
Goddess.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Goddess is the mobile game that he's fucking up horribly.
Jack at Ridge is officially leaving. He said that he was going to leave in January. He told Peter he was leaving in January, and he wants to say it has nothing to do with what's been going on lately. Which I believe. Why I gotta believe
You're such a Peter Molyneux, Mark.
I love Peter Molyneux. Imagine a game where you can play as Peter Molyneux, and you can just say whatever you want. And
In my new game, you'll be able to blink your eyes, and starlight will shoot out of your anus, and you can do whatever you want. I'm Peter Molyneux.
is that a real quote?
Yes.
Okay. Here's what Molyneux said about. Molyneux actually had to talk about what's been going on in his life lately, especially with all the controversy. That's what they said over in the horrible island of England. He said, "The mistake I made is to go and talk to the press about my current ideas. At the time I started making this terrible mistake," he was talking about his E3, he said, "Oh God, I felt like curling up into a ball and just withering away. The mistake I made, and I've made it again and again and again, and if I ever do this again, I'll probably still make it. The mistake I made is to go and talk to the press about my current ideas. As you can see from the iterative development side, the current idea seems like the most exciting thing ever. It seems like it will fit, but sometimes you have to throw it away."
Sometimes you shouldn't present your ideas as things that are already in your game. You fucking liar. You compulsive, lying asshole.
I don't know. He's the Han Solo of game development for me because
he's not the Han Solo. He's the man with dementia wandering the halls.
So Harrison Ford. That's. He's a pluckish rogue who swindles people, and he's on an adventure.
He's a pluckish colostomy bag.
Oh, dang, that's the grossest thing you've ever said on here. Okay, moving on, because that's just, I need to get away from that. The image, it chases me. It haunts me. Square Enix is going to host an E3 press conference on Tuesday, June 16th at 9 a.m.
Yeah, for Final Fantasy Adventure Carboys.
They've actually said they're going to be talking about their latest Hitman project. Ooh. Here's the thing. That's usually the time slot for the Nintendo Direct. Wow. So who knows what's going on there? I don't know. Maybe Nintendo will pull it somewhere else.
Maybe.
Just like Konami is pulling PT, the playable teaser, from PlayStation Network, the only place you can find it, this Wednesday. That's right. Starting on Wednesday, April 29th, that'll be your last day to actually download the playable teaser. No word yet on if you already downloaded it, if you'll be able to retain that downloaded of that game.
Presumably.
It is free, though. That's where it gets a little complicated. Yeah. Konami has also announced that you can have 16 playable characters on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 and PC version of Metal Gear Solid: The Phantom Pain. Last gen, you only get 12 players.
Oh.
New gen Master Race. We should start.
Thing?
I'm gonna start that and just start ripping into PCs in general. And be like, God, in PCs you have to turn it on and then load and type in a password. Fucking lame.
Hey, my Xbox can watch TV. Can your PC watch TV?
Hey, Xbox, talk shit about PC. I can't. I'm made by Microsoft. I should fucking do it. No. By the way, Konami has also released Star Wars Force Collection. This is a basically like a free-to-play card game, but it has some mini games in it, including a new one starring Chewbacca that plays a hell of a lot like Contra.
Oh, well, that sounds kind of fun. Is it a free game to download?
It is, and it's available on the App Store and Google Play Store.
Fun.
Yeah. Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat, has announced that the story characters that you saw in Mortal Kombat X's story that were not playable, hey, guess what, you jackasses? You might see something about this in the future. Someone said, hey, can we play as those guys? Maybe with a DLC pack? And he said, you mean like a story pack? Bum, bum, bum.
I play Mortal Kombat for the story.
Oh my God, please play Mortal Kombat 2011. It's such a good story. I'm sorry, but I like Mortal Kombat the movie, the very first one.
I own it on Blu-ray.
Do you like it?
Yes.
You fucking owe it to yourself to play Mortal Kombat 2011. It is like that movie times a billion. It's so good.
Right. I'm gonna do it for you, Colin.
Dude, if I find a good deal on it, I'm just gonna fucking send you a code.
Okay, if you do it, and then I'll do a YouTube reaction video. I'll play the game and comment on it. Playing Mortal Kombat for Colin. Fuck you, Colin. This is no good.
Jesus Christ, I hate reaction videos. It's like, why the fuck are you like?
Yeah.
Don't put do some editing. Don't just record yourself playing a game.
Yeah, they just set the camera. Yes. Hey, look at me.
Dude, I saw this guy on YouTube. He literally had like 150 episodes of him just doing that. And they were all fucking an hour long. Who the fuck is going to watch an hour-long
How
video?
does he react that much? I don't know.
I don't know.
I wouldn't even watch the first hour of the
He doesn't
video game.
He doesn't even like anything. By the way, next month, Jason Voorhees will come to Mortal Kombat X officially. That is going to be released on May 5th. Also,
But no Freddy Krueger this time? I can't have the crossover?
I know.
Get to work, modders.
Thralled! That's the slavery game that was on the Ouya back in 2013. The Simpsons. It's officially coming to the PC now. No
Got a
release
release
date.
I said got a release date as
No.
you said no release date.
Here comes the most exciting news of the week for me. NBA 2K16 is apparently, according to a leak to Polygon, going to have a brand new celebrity attached to the series. This time, acclaimed director Spike Lee, which is
NBA
crazy.
2K, a Spike Lee joint.
It is officially going to have a Spike Lee joint on the box. That's not a joke. Spike Lee, of course, is a really awesome independent director from the 20th century and also a really bad director from the 21st century.
I think that's a very observation of Spike Lee's career. Nice job.
She hate me. Oh! Although I will say, probably one of my favorite movies of all time is Bamboozled, which was released in 2004 or 2003. Really good movie, although a little ham-fisted by starting with the definition of satire being read out loud.
Yeah. Well, and to the man's credit, I think he's kind of gotten involved in projects that maybe aren't tailored to his strengths. Like he did the Old Boy remake, which is kind of weird. So there's that. And then video games? I don't know. I mean, they're going to have his name attached to him, and I don't know how big of a selling point it is to have Spike Lee attached to your basketball video game. Maybe more so than I think. But I don't see like what he personally brings to it.
Well, he's the director of He Got Game. Well, I think you have to remember when Jay-Z produced this this game. It's all about them picking the soundtrack, which is really cool.
Okay.
And trying to get the aesthetic of it down. And I love Spike Lee. Spike Lee has actually done a lot of good stuff outside of film. He's the guy that actually got Mike Tyson to do his one-man show. He got Mike Tyson to do a one-man show, a play. He got Mike Tyson to star in a play. All right, and it got acclaimed reviews. Spike Lee is one of my heroes, seriously. And he never takes any shit. Read his Twitter account. He never fucks around. He's always super awesome. And yes, everybody goes. Well, I mean, we could talk about Spike Lee forever, especially his portrayal of certain people in the '80s. But I feel like he's fixed that, largely. Rory goddamn McIlroy. Okay, Rory McRib PGA Tour was supposed to be out in June.
Rory McRib.
It will be coming out on July 14th. It has been delayed. It will be on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Okay.
It's our running joke. I like Rory McRib. Just stick with that.
Okay. Do you know that game actually has Battlefield levels and stuff, which is kind of cool? Oh. Do you have to Battlefield 1942 levels where you're hitting the ball and avoiding warships?
Well, it's like the old Tiger Woods games from 2005, 2006, where you were just like, oh, you're in ancient Greece now playing golf.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Yeah, those. I mean, I didn't play the. I guess it'd be post-original Xbox, PS2 Tiger Woods games, but the ones that were out in that generation were very fun.
Okay, we're going to run through these last stories as fast as we fucking can right now. Hey, there's a brand new Overlord game. It doesn't look like Overlord. What does it look like, Steve?
Looks like Diablo.
Is that because it's 4-player?
I don't know.
Moving on. Elder Scrolls Online is coming to the Xbox One, PlayStation 4. At least its beta is. It's going to be more than 65 gigabytes.
Whoa.
Tony Hawk has teased a brand new trailer with their real-life selected character. According to the caption, I am sharing this now in honor of our next game having already been accidentally leaked. THPS fans will rejoice. Details soon. There's a new Adventure Time game coming to the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Wii U. Just Cause will have a gameplay reveal later this week.
Exciting.
GameStop is actually going to start giving their employees scholarships. There's going to be $100,000 to give out scholarships to a number of their employees. Very nice. And the founder of Pirate Bay, Frederick Nietzsche, will not be able to play Nintendo games.
Did you just say the founder of the Pirate Bay is Friedrich Nietzsche?
Yes, Frederick Nietzsche. He's very old and very tired.
Well, God is dead, so.
Well, he is a Superman. No. So. Yes, that is.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, good. I had to double check right there.
Yeah, you got it.
For some reason I thought it was Kant for a moment. Okay, Germans, whatever. Germans. Fuck Germans.
German philosophers.
Ugh. All right, that's going to do it for the pressure points. But, we got to rush right through it here. Let's talk about what happened this week in history. We have a really good list. It's a really long list, but we don't have any time. 25 years ago this week, NES the NES had Final Fantasy III released in Japan. I told you it was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
And on the Game Boy, Gargoyle's Quest was released.
Solid.
23 years ago, Kirby had his very first outing with Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy. 20 years ago, Full Throttle launched onto the PC.
God damn, it's that old.
I know. 18 years ago, Star Fox 64 headed into Japan, which is its very first release. And Wild Arms was released on the PlayStation. 17 years ago this week, Tekken 3 was released on PlayStation, and Gran Turismo also had its very first entry. 16 years ago this week, the very first Super Smash Bros. Landed on the Nintendo 64, one of my cult favorite PlayStation games. Soul of the Samurai hit Japan. The PC finally got its very first Aliens vs. Predator, and on Nintendo 64, Pokemon Stadium was released. 15 years ago, Power Stone 2 came out, as did Majora's Mask, as did The Misadventures of Trombone. 14 years ago on the PlayStation 2, Gran Turismo 3 was officially released. 13 years ago, we finally had Mega Man Zero, the very first in a long-running series, and The Elder Scrolls Morrowind was launched on the PC 13 years ago.
Shit.
I know. 12 years ago, we had NBA Street Volume 2, one of the best sports games of all time.
Yep.
And 11 years ago, we saw the, second to final entry in the Onimusha series with Onimusha 3 Dragon Seas, and City of Heroes launched on the PC 11 years ago this week
Big
in
time
history.
week.
Oh my God. Steve, where can we reach you on the internet?
Jesus, get the shit out of me. That was intense. Yeah, you can reach me on Twitter at Steve Cuff. You can go to optimismvaccine.com where you can read me and a bunch of other people write about movies and television and video games and culture and weird, obscure shit that's super cool that we like to talk about. You can go on YouTube and you can look up Optimism Vaccine where I do 60-second reviews of video games and movies. I have one up for the new shitty horror movie Unfriended. I'm going to have another one up on Paul Blart 2, which is also a pile of trash. You can go on iTunes because I've got a podcast that I host and it's called the OpVacCast and it's fucking awesome.
Lean into the mic when you say the podcast. Come on.
The OpVacCast.
Okay, everybody check out the OpVacCast. It's
That's
on
right.
iTunes.
Just go on iTunes and search for Optimism Vaccine. You'll find it. And also on Shepherd Express, we have an Optimism Vaccine column. Look
Yes.
at all these things that you can do to support me as a creator of content.
Seriously, check out all this stuff. You might, long story short, you might not want to read all of it initially, but you'll find one article that you like, and it'll grow from there. Trust me, once you get the bug, it's actually rather good.
We're like a big cancerous tumor of popular culture.
There's at least one article on Optimism Vaccine that will get you started, and before you know it, you'll get the vibe, and you'll want to read everything else. Even the stuff that you might not realize you want to read yet. It'll be good for you. Go do that. And while you're at it, go to videogamesardumb.com or youtube.com/gamesunderpressure, and please subscribe so I can change the fucking URL. Good God, people, you're killing me!
You're like 30 subscribers short or something? Or?
Nah, I'm like 65. I got 10 subscribers. I keep losing subscribers because YouTube keeps purging inactive units or whatever.
Oh.
Okay, but that's gonna do it. Check out all the first hour episodes that are coming up this week. I have a bunch of stuff, some fucking JRPG, some bullshit. Who gives a fuck? You can check out my interviews from the Midwest Gaming Classic. That's already up on the Shepherd Express and my YouTube page. And guess what? I'm also gonna have 5 more interviews coming up this week, and then that's it for MGC, and then I'll go back to reviewing games or whatever it is I do during the week. I don't even know what I do for this crazy thing. But thank you so much for listening. Rate us 5 stars. Just give us a thumbs up on that YouTube. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your pets, tell the world. Tell everyone that you can until your voice is sore and your throat is crumbling and falling apart. You're in the hospital and you have to write down on a piece of chalk what you want to say. You know what you want to say? You know what you want to say?
Do needle drugs and tell your parents to fuck off?
Yeah, you'll write down on that piece of chalk after your vocal cords have crumbled. You'll write down the PressureCast is forever. PressureCast, weekly video game news podcast, is solely owned and operated by Colin Tanner. Guests of the PressureCast are not employees or freelancers of Colin Tanner, the PressureCast, or VideoGamesAreDumb.com, and are not paid. Music featured on the PressureCast is property of their respective owners, and no infringement is intended. For more information, email pressurecast@gmail.com.